Everybody, and welcome into Jimmy John's Field. It's Thirsty Thursday here on the USPBL Network. I'm Brady Beaton, joined by Tom Cavanaugh. Gonna have a fun one today between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths. But Tom, before we talk about today's matchup, let's go back a week ago where the Diamond Hoppers really found a lot of success. They had a game on Friday that was suspended in the 8th where they had a big lead. Sunday they continued their winning ways with a 9-2 win over the Beavers. Diamond Hoppers are one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
No doubt. 6-3 atop the USPBL standings right now. They're just driving in runs. It's incredible. These guys are averaging over 7 runs per game, and it's been a lot of different guys they've relied on along with the pitching. I'm really excited for how they're going to continue it today.
Well, you mentioned the pitching. Pierce Banks, the pitcher of the week last week here in the USPBL. When you're clicking on all cylinders like Ryan Cocky's team is, you're going to find a lot of success. And you mentioned the hitting, the 7 runs a game. A big part of that, 5 guys in the early going hitting over 300. That's just a recipe for success. Now, it might not last all season. It's unreasonable to expect that, but you're going to ride this roller coaster and ride this wave as long as it'll let you.
Of course, and just like you said, Pierce Banks is their #1 guy. We got another guy in John Kelly going today that's also incredible. I'm really excited to see where this Hoppers team takes it over the next couple of weeks because they're red hot, and if they can keep it going, they'll be hoisting a banner at the end of the year.
The Westside Woolly Mammoths, they're struggling just a hair coming in. They got swept in the Saturday doubleheader a week ago, one being in that sudden death that Taylor Jelenkowski just has no luck in that sudden death. He has like 2 wins all time, a very unofficial stat, but he just knows when he goes out to the coin toss, he does not have a lot of luck. That was one of the 2 losses to the Unicorns. Have had a lot of rest, looking to bounce back here on a Thursday night.
Yeah, these Mammoths, they can also do the same thing offensively that those Hoppers can do. They got a lot of really skilled hitters. We'll talk about a few of the newbies that have joined their team today that have just come on in. So the Mammoths, they got all the intangibles to be able to be successful and be the champions of this league as well. But you're right, it's tough in those sudden death half-inning extra innings because, you know, the Unicorns came up big with a big swing out of the hands of Andre Demetral, and if they can get those 3 outs, season kind of changes, and they're sitting at 3rd place right now in the USPBL standings, and it's because of 2 of those losses in extra innings.
A couple of guys to look out for in that lineup that have had success early. Dre Williams, Nelson has been great, but Francis Florentino struggled just a little bit out of the gate, but he found his swing last week. He was the player of the week. He's found some power, and it's shown up in a big way.
A couple of absolute laser beams. I was on the call for that doubleheader last Saturday night, and the guy's really coming into his own this year. We know him as a former minor league ball player, so he has all the ability to be able to hit the ball out, hit for a power 350 average, and he plays a good outfield as well. So I'm really looking forward to Florentino and the rest of these guys on this team to continue to battle over the next couple weeks.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at today's pitching matchup. As Tom mentioned, some of the newcomers on the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths here on the USPBL Network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
back here on the USPBL Network. Brady Beaton alongside Tom Cavanaugh. We mentioned some newcomers, some reinforcements coming to the Westside Woolly Mammoths roster. Well, being put right in the clean of a spot right away. Drew Fleming, local guy from Concordia, Ann Arbor. He's had quite this career there, and well, he's hoping to translate that right away here to the professional ranks here at the USPBL.
Brady, we both got to sit here and watch him hit BP. He put about 5 or 6 baseballs long gone over the wall in left and right field. The guy's a monster offensively. He was a two-way player, over at Concordia. He's not going to pitch here in the USPBL. He's more focused on the bat, but over 50 home runs in his last 2 seasons of college ball, 80 RBIs back in 2023. I'm so excited to see Drew Fleming swing a bat here for the Mammoths.
Now, usually we don't talk about BP in the pregame segment because it's BP. It is what it is. However, it just ended behind us, but if you can see the flag behind us, it is blowing hard out to right center. There were balls that had no business going over the fence. Now, wind could shift between when we record this and when first pitch happens, but if the wind tunnels keep blowing out to right center, it's going to be a tough day for these pitchers.
Yeah, we could see a few long balls today, but you mentioned the pitchers. We got 2 great guys going today, but you can't talk more about that wind and how it's going to blow out, because as soon as it gets above the rafters here on the awning above Jimmy John's field, that ball's going to carry. So we could expect a lot of runs today, but you never really know with 2 really good starters on the mound.
Pitcher comparison brought to you by UWM United Wholesale Mortgage. As for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, it's John Kelly. For the Westside Woolly Mammoths, it's a new guy in Nate Blaine getting the start. Another guy you've seen prior to the USPBL.
Yeah, Blainer, he's awesome. Spent several years at Madonna University, just played his last collegiate year, with Ball State. So he's a great pitcher coming out of the right side. A lot of really good stuff. Not going to overpower you, but he's going to leave you off balance. And then over to John Kelly as well. He's one of the better pitchers besides Pierce Banks for this Hoppers team. They're kind of the 1-2 punch. And talking with a few of the other hitters for the Hoppers pregame, they had nothing but love and good things to say about John Kelly, and he is going to give them the best chance at a victory today.
Well, a couple of strong lineups and a wind tunnel blowing right out to right center field. We have a recipe for some fireworks here today. We'll take one final break. We'll come back. We'll take a deeper look at the pitcher comparison as the pregame show continues here on the USPBL Network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Field sun is shining as both managers getting ready for this Thirsty Thursday matchup between the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the home team, the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Brady Beaton alongside Tom Cavanaugh. Before we get back into the pregame, let's take a moment to thank those who make this broadcast possible. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealer, Belfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, Corwell Health, Dave and Buster's, DTE, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Pepsi, and United Wholesale Mortgage. Thank you to all the sponsors that make this broadcast possible on the USPBL Network. Brady Beaton, Tom Cavanaugh here for you on a Thursday night. And Tom, it has been a windy one all day long.
Yeah, we got the rain to go away yesterday, and we're looking at a beautiful sunny day of baseball. But you're right, that wind tunnel heading out to straightaway center field. We saw a ton of baseballs hit out in pregame batting practice, and could see the same results here today. We got two really good pitchers going, but also with that wind coming out at 16 miles an hour to the west, going straight out to center. Boy, it could be a great day for some hitters.
I'm telling you, any lefty here is going to be feasting. As well, they're going to try to take advantage of a couple of different pitchers. One that we're familiar with in John Kelly, and Nate Blaine, one that maybe not familiar with here in the USPBL. You look at the numbers for John Kelly. The number that stands out, the batting average against at 133, where he could get into a little bit of a trouble. The walks have been maybe a tad higher than you would like, but if you're going to miss bats the way he is and not give up as that much hard contact, you can afford to give up a walk or two.
100%. You look at that batting average against for Kelly. He's only giving up a 133 batting average in his first work. So you're right. You can walk a couple guys, but if you get a lazy ground ball to roll over for a double play, that walk is immediately wiped away. So we like what we've seen out of John so far. He pitches to some light contact with only 5 strikeouts this year, but that 2.25 ERA is huge, and that's why the Hoppers are in first place. They keep the runs high on offense, and they keep them low on the mound.
And then Nate Blaine, I know, Tom, he's been well-traveled, just finished up over at Ball State in the MAC before starting off locally a little more before moving up to D1.
Yeah, he spent a couple years at Madonna University, was great for them over the last couple seasons, won a WAC championship with the Crusaders back in 2023. But over with Ball State in the MAC, he went 4-5 with a 4.74 ERA through 20 games pitched. He didn't make any starts, Brady. He's a relief guy last year with Ball State, but he does have a lot of experience at Madonna making starts, and that's what he's going to do today.
And should be a fun one. One last note I want to mention. This says there's no stats on it, but Tom, we haven't talked about this. I'm going to spring this on you. I think today we have the matchup of the two best baseball names in the league in Zeb Roos and Fox Liam. I think those are 1 and 2, and I don't think it's very close.
I completely agree with you. Zeb Roos it's a great one, man. Just a great baseball name. You know, you think about professional baseball and all the guys that have those marquee names. You're right. Roos and Fox Liam are up there with the best of them.
And it helps that they're both pretty darn good players as well for their respective sides. I mean, it's one thing to have a name, but when you're born and you're Fox Liam or you're Zeb Roos, it's almost that you're preordained to be a baseball player. You don't have a lot of choices.
Not at all. You know, those guys, you know, they definitely play to their best of the ability, and both hitting in the top half of the lineup, impact ball players for their team. We're going to see him knock a few baseballs today. He's been hitting a lot better the last couple of weeks, or last couple of games, I'm sorry.
We mentioned the wind blowing out to right center field, and Tom, I mentioned that, you know, it felt like last year, anytime we had a BP where guys are just flicking the wrist and putting it over the fence, it'd come back and we'd have a 3-2 game that was a pitcher's duel. Now, I know with the Diamond Hoppers staff, they are very capable of doing it, and with a bit of unfamiliarity with Blaine, don't really have the scouting report on him yet. If you're the Diamond Hoppers, I could see how if you're getting a lot of ground balls, that's going to be key, and you can keep the scoring down a bit.
Yeah, they got to be able to do that. I mean, you look at the Hoppers, 63 runs scored this year, just 26 runs allowed. They're playing on a differential this year, but the good thing going for Nate Blaine is catcher Zach Beadle is extremely familiar. Beadle spent his college time at Madonna, so those two 30, 40 different ball games that they've been a battery for in the past couple of years. So a really good chemistry behind the dish and on the mound for the Mammoths, and the team in the Hoppers that they're going to need to try to minimize the runs production for today.
A real quick look at the standings. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers sitting at 6-2 on the year. They've won 3 in a row. The Mammoths, they dropped below 500 when they were swept in that Saturday doubleheader, but this is a pretty talented Mammoth team.
They're awesome. You look up and down the lineup, there's not a soft spot spot. Pastor, Florentino, Liam, Drew Fleming being entered into the fold. He's another big pickup. Colby Seltzer, he's a guy that's going to have to do a little bit of catching over the next couple of weeks. He's slated at shortstop today. But Jose Cedeno, Nick Webb, Zach Beadle, I mean, this entire lineup is filled with guys that have a lot of power, make good play, a really clean game of baseball.
Well, as they finish up the pregame festivities here at Jimmy John's Field, we will take one final break. When we come back, starting lineups in first pitch. You have the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Brady Beaton and Tom Cavanaugh here with you on the USPBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running. We build roads, bridges.
Back here on the USPBL Network, National Anthem song starting lineups announced. And let's take a look at the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming in with a 6-2 record on the season. Leading off, Blake Van Diver. He'll be at second. Out patrolling center field, batting second, Zeb Roos. Batting third, the left fielder, Noah Marcoux. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Matt Gehrig. Batting fifth over at first base, Ben Ferguson. Left the game last time we saw him. He is good to go for this one. Out in right field, batting sixth, Bryant Schellenbarger. Batting seventh, over at third base, Jake Shear. The catcher today, batting eighth, Whit Hughes. And Bailey Martin rounds us out over at shortstop. I know there's a lot of guys that stand out, but Tom, when you look at that starting nine, who's one guy you want to hone in on for this one?
Ben Ferguson. We've talked a lot about Bryant Schellenbarger and Noah Marcoux in the past, but a guy like Ben Ferguson can ignite this team. He's a big left-handed hitter, can swing it for power, and he's a guy that I think is going to have a great day today against the righty Nate Blaine, really honing in on Ben Ferguson.
In his USPBL debut, not too far away here in Canton, Michigan, so not a huge drive for any friends or family watching Nate Blaine make his professional debut again. Spent last season at Ball State before previously spending a majority of his time over at Madonna, but he's going to get that first start, and I think one of the biggest things, especially guys that come from college ball just in general, is going to be getting those nerves out and getting the settled in as we take a quick look at the defensive alignment for the Westside Woolly Mammoths presented by Three Dimensional Services Group. In the outfield for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, right to left, we have Florentino, Pastor, and Cedeno. In the infield, left to right, Webb, Seltzer, Dre Williams, Nelson, the new guy, Drew Fleming, and receiving for Nate Blaine today behind the dish, Zach Beadle.
Really excited to see Beetle and Blaine work it again. Had a lot of time calling games for Madonna. Seeing those two go at it on the mound and behind the plate, I'm really excited. And Drew Fleming, a guy that was a rival of the Madonna Crusaders, and now on the other side of the coin playing with those Madonna players along with assistant coach of the Mammoths, Justin Karn. They know all about Drew Fleming over there at first base for Westside.
Well, it's a lot easier to make the transition when you have a catcher you're comfortable with, you're familiar with, coming into this league, because a lot of the times you're coming in and you're flying blind. You're getting a catcher that you've never met before, and you have to try to develop that rapport. Having someone that's caught you before can go a long way. First pitch, fastball in the dirt at 7:05, and we are underway here on a Thursday night.
Prompt start, gotta love it.
It'll be a pretty run-of-the-mill arsenal, I guess, is the way to put it for Blaine. You're going to get a fastball, you're going to get a slider, you're going to get a changeup. A pitch that goes straight, a pitch that goes horizontal, and a pitch that goes vertical.
Yeah, Blaine mixes up really well. Very good at sequencing his pitches.
Wave and a miss on a fastball. Van Diver chased one away.
Great start to the year for Blake. Hitting .321, 3 RBIs, and he gets on base a whole lot.
Swing and a flare to left field. Cedeno brings it in. It wasn't sure if that was going to have the carry, but shame on me. We talked about it all pregame. The ball's going to carry today.
Yeah, I mean, it had a chance to drop down if that wind's not blowing out, but you're right. It just kind of sifted out there to Cedeno. Easy play, and that's what we're going to see a lot of Nate Blaine today. He's a high strikeout guy, but a lot of weak contact off of these Hoppers bats we're expecting.
Here comes arguably the hottest bat in the league, Zeb Roos. Through the first portion of the season, he's hitting .500. He draws some walks as well. He's driven in 7 runs. Zeb Roos is, well, he's burst his way onto the scene. There's no other way to put it. That .500 leads the USPBL. Well-placed slider just nipped the black away.
That's what you're going to have to do against a guy like Zeb Roos. He's looking to grip and rip, and if you keep that ball on the outside part of the plate with an off-speed slider, it's going to keep him off balance.
Swing and a pop-up into the vast foul territory over near JJ's cage. I believe he's not in there quite yet. He's out and about again. He's the most loved person here, most loved asset, which, by the way, the wind somehow has gotten stronger here at the USPBL. As a swing and a miss on a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. That was a challenge fastball. Ruse a bit overpowered.
That was money from Blaine. That's a little arm side run inside towards the right-handed hitter. Tough to get your barrel there. And as you said, 94 miles an hour. These guys are going to have to time it up a little bit quicker.
Brings up Noah Marcoux, first lefty that Blaine has to face, but you get that first professional strikeout out of the way. You get the first 2 up and down rather quietly. Has to feel good making your pro debut. 2-0 to Marcoux. Blaine, the pitch clock will not affect him. He works very quickly. 2-0, called strike. Looked like the changeup, maybe a bit away to Marcoux. Still ahead in the count.
Blaine not a high walk guy either, so he's going to battle in counts.
High pop-up. Webb going into foul ground. He doesn't get to it in time. I think the wind kept that one in the ballpark, Tom, off the bat. I think Webb was giving more of a token jog over there, thinking, all right, that one's going to end up as a souvenir. And, well, there's a lot of foul ground over there, and it found some grass.
Yeah, that was exactly what happened. Off my eyes, originally thought it was out of here, but you're right, about 75 feet of foul ground space from the dugout to the foul line. So these guys always got to be on their toes.
2-2 fastball way away. No chance for Marcoux to offer at that pitch. And the count runs full. Blaine works out of the windup, keeps the glove over the chin, brings it down to the belt, the delivery. Change up in the dirt. And that's a walk with 2 away. Keeps the inning alive here for the Diamond Hoppers.
It's a fine way to start it with 2 gone. 2 out base runners are always something sneaky. Noah Marcoux can run all right. Hasn't attempted a stolen base with 2 gone. I don't know if you'd see it, but another guy coming to the dish that can do some damage offensively in Matt Gehrig.
First pitch to Gehrig. Just a hair away with the fastball.
Not missing by much out of the hand of Blaine. He's living around the zone.
Throw over to first, couldn't get him. Marcoux caught a bit off balance. Don't think he was expecting the throw over and just got that right hand in.
High IQ move from Blaine as he knows Marcoux is leaning out to get that lead as momentum's going the other way.
Slider called strike. 1-1. Out of the stretch, the kick and deal. Fastball away, easy take for Gehrig. Runner on first, 2 away. Top of the first inning here on a Thursday night. Blaine settles in the delivery. Swing and a line drive down the left field line. That'll drop. First base hit of the game for the Diamond Hoppers. Marcoux moves up 90 feet, and there's 2 runners on with 2 away.
That ball's in the lower outer part of the plate, and Gehrig just goes and gets it. Those long arms can carry the barrel to the opposite corner of the plate, and he just sticks it out there. Gehrig's a big guy, and he just needs a little bit of flick there to drop that halfway out in the outfield and left.
The inning will continue. Tom, you mentioned the 2-out walk. That's never something you like to see, especially with a team hitting as well as the Diamond Hoppers. And now just like that, a runner in scoring position. And a line drive, base hit into center field. Marcoux around third. Throw cut off, and it's 1-0 Diamond Hoppers. First pitch ambush, and Ben Ferguson drives in his 12th run of the season.
That's all it takes. The 2-out walk to put a base runner on gets you to the middle of the lineup, and guys like Matt Gehrig and, as I mentioned pregame, Ben Ferguson coming through, first pitch hunting, and he rips it back up the middle. Nice job from the Hops, continuing to score early on in ball games and take an early lead.
Thanks.
Brings up Bryant Schellenbarger. Struggled a little bit out of the gate. Averaged just under that Mendoza line, but you know he's a guy that is due to break out at any point, and a lefty with his type of power today, he doesn't have to get all of one, and he can spin to win here.
And Schellenbarger can go the opposite way. His solo home run of the year so far was in that left center gap, taking a slider low and away, gone.
Hard hit ball past the diving Dre Williams Nelson into right field. They hold up Gehrig at third, and the bases are loaded. 4 straight base runner batters reach here with 2 away. It's gone walk, 3 straight singles, and Jake Shire comes to the plate, and a chance to really make this inning something out of what seemed to be just a nothing first inning.
Yeah, a lazy fly out to left field, a strikeout to Zeb Roos. Blaine looked like he was cooking. And then after the walk, things start to kind of tumbleweed on, and Gehrig, Ferguson, and Schellenbarger, give credit to those guys for finding holes and driving the baseball to the outfield. It's a huge chance here with Jake Shire, the third baseman, coming up for the Hops. Like I mentioned with the Mammoths, there's not a weak spot in this lineup. You can say the exact same thing about these Hoppers.
Do you think some of it is the first couple of guys, Van Diver, Roos, come back and go, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what he's coming at, prep for this, and sit on maybe that first pitch fastball?
Exactly right. All baseball is, besides obviously making the plays and hitting the balls, is the adjustments and the learning you do when you're on the bench and not immediately in the ball game. You can learn so much about a pitcher or some other tendencies guys seem to have.
Changeup misses away. Count at 1-1. Gehrig at third, Ferguson at second, Schellenbarger over at first. It's been 3 straight singles for the Diamond Hoppers. They lead it 1-0. Fastball misses a rung too high up the ladder, and it's 2-1. This is a pivotal at-bat early in this game. You get out of this, okay, you gave up a run, you can live with that. But if this finds a gap, a crooked number goes up, ball gets by Beadle, throw home, and Gehrig's out very convincingly. That's a break for the Mammoths, and one that they'll take. They send 7 to the plate, 3 base hits, an RBI single from Ben Ferguson. We head to the bottom of the first. Mammoths will come up already chasing a run here on the USPBL network.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How are they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there. Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Time doesn't heal our wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His
I wasn't
time,
even at my camera,
your
but okay.
time. And it's time to show.
Yeah.
We can. Corewell Health.
Bottom of the first, 1-0 Diamond Hoppers. Mammoths coming to the plate, chasing a run. Let's take a look at how the Mammoths stack up on this Thursday night. Leading off, the center fielder, Nick Pastor. The player of the week, Francis Florentino, out and right. Batting third, the designated hitter, Fox Liam. The new guy, Drew Fleming, bats fourth over at first. Dre Williams-Nelson, he's at second base, batting fifth. The shortstop, Colby Seltzer, bats sixth. Nick Webb over at the hot corner, batting seventh. Zach Beadle behind the dish, batting eighth. And Jose Cedeno is out in left field. Rounding out the Westside Woolly Mammoths lineup. Tom, you've been very complimentary of this lineup. Who do you really think is going to stand out? I know Drew Fleming has some really gaudy college numbers.
Yeah, it's got to be Fleming or a guy, Colby Seltzer. If we're going to talk about guys that have had experience so far this season with the USPBL, it's Colby. He's kind of been on a tear lately. 6 for his first 17, 3 RBIs, 7 total bases. He's walked 4 times compared to 3 strikeouts. Colby is he's slowly starting to come on and be a big piece of this Mammoths team.
And they will face the right arm of John Kelly, one of the 3 starters for the Diamond Hoppers that have led the way. You see that ERA of 2.25, but the batting average against of 133 is one of the numbers that just jumps off the page to me, Tom.
Yeah, Kelly is, I mean, as we said in the pregame, one of the better, if not best pitcher for the Hoppers. He's looking to go 4 or 5 innings today and keep his team in it.
First pitch to Pastor. Called strike on the inner part of the plate, and Kelly will pitch some guys backwards. His most used pitch is the slider, the sinker, not too far behind. That's almost a coin flip between those two, but can mix in a 4-seamer and a curveball as well. Does have a change almost in name only. He'll throw it once in a while, but it's a variety of pitches from Kelly, so you can't sit on one particular pitch with him.
Now you don't know what's coming. You try to have some sort of an idea as a hitter and sit on a pitch like you're sitting on an off-speed or a fastball and try to rip it, but with just a myriad of different pitches that he has in the arsenal, you do a lot of thinking up there as a hitter.
Nick Pastor, 1-1 count. Missed just a bit up the ladders. You take a closer look at Pastor. He's been a bit unlucky. He doesn't really crowd the plate much more than anyone else. 4 times he's been plunked. Turns on one to right field and deep. Pastor evens it up. 1-1 on the Nick Pastor home run. Turned on it, it carried, and well, there's home run number 1 on the day.
We talked about the big flies. That wind did not do much to that ball. It was gone off the bat. Nice swing from Nick Pastor. Absolute bomb. Puts it off the brick just behind the 320 sign in right field. Nice start to the day for the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
And that's a mistake pitch, a slider, that's center cut. That's one you're going to want back. You're not going to get back as a Lucky fan's coming home with a souvenir. Didn't get all of it, about 89 off the bat, but again, you pull it right down the line. The wind doesn't hurt, and well, that's got to make Taylor Jelenkowski feel a lot better now that he got that run back just like that.
Yeah, these are the type of guys on both sides that if you leave a mistake pitch, they're going to rip it. And 320 out there to right field's a pretty good distance, so nice swing from Nick to get it up out of here.
Francis Florentino turns on one to left center field. Ruse goes back. That one went farther than past Stores, but Florentino has to go back to the dugout as out number 1. So with nobody on and one away, let's take a look at how the Diamond Hoppers align defensively in this one. In the outfield, we have Noah Marcoux, Zeb Ruse, and Bryant Schellenbarger. The infield from left to right, Shear, Martin, Van Diver, and Ferguson, and Whit Hughes behind the plate, receiving for John Kelly. Defensive alignment brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. First pitch to Fox Liam inside, and well, John Kelly bounces back from the home run. That's got to shake the confidence maybe just a little bit.
Not the way you wanted to start, but you can always battle back here. It's a 0-0 ball game with one out in the bottom of the first.
That offense for the Diamond Hoppers has to give the pitchers a little confidence, knowing, hey, all right, I gave up a home run. We're going to score another run. This game, we're not going to end up with one run. We're not going to get shut out for 8 consecutive innings. As Liam pops one up back into the stands.
Hoppers averaging just under 8 runs per game, so right to your point right there, Brady, is the fact that these guys are going to score runs over a 9-inning span.
Fox Liam struggling a bit out of the gate, but we know he's a bat that when he gets going, you're going to have to look out for him. And he's in a good hitter's count now, 3-1.
That's one thing that Fox has been really good at this year. He might not have the extra base hits that we've seen in years past, but he's got 7 walks compared to 5 strikeouts. So he's seeing the ball really well right now and being very disciplined.
There's walk number 8 on the year. If you get on base, you can help the team, and there's 1 on with 1 away for the new guy, Drew Fleming. And if nothing else, Tom, he looks the part.
Oh, yeah. I got to watch him in the WAC championship back in 2023. They lost the game to Madonna in that Game 3 winner-take-all. Fleming had 2 homers. This is a guy that can absolute deposit the baseball anywhere in the ballpark. We saw him go opposite field about 390, so a lot of juice in that bat, and with over 50 home runs in his last 2 collegiate seasons with Concordia, this boy can rip it.
The Davison native is listed at 6'6", 235. There's a runner on first, the 0-1. Check swing, did he go? The appeal, no, says the field umpire. Again, that's a tough angle to call it from just behind the pitcher's mound. That was that's a 50-50 call.
100%.
1-1. Jam shot popped up right side. Van Diver's the one to take it. And Fleming pops out in his first professional at-bat. There's 2 away for the Mammoths in the home half of the first.
Like what we're seeing from John Kelly bouncing back after that leadoff home run to Nick Pastor. I know he walked Fox Liam, but other than that, the Florentino fly out, and now the Drew Fleming pop out to second base. Kelly's starting to settle in. That's a nice pitch that attacks the hands of a right-handed hitter in Drew Fleming, and as he tries to turn and spin and get barrel on that ball, he gets a little bit of the handle and it pops straight up.
Dre Williams Nelson to the plate. Check swing doesn't matter. Called strike on the inner part of the plate. And slider coming through the front door that's a tough pitch. And Williams Nelson is not the first batter to kind of take a half-hearted look at one. There's a perfectly placed pitch on the low outside corner. 0-2.
And Kelly's only missed a couple of spots today, and one of them went for a bomb, but 80% of the time, 90% of the time, Kelly's going to keep it in a really good, unhittable spot, just like we saw with that last pitch.
0-2 to Williams Nelson. Swing and a fly ball left field deep. Marcoux goes back, and that ball is long gone. Dre Williams Nelson got every stitch of that one, and 350 some odd feet later, it's 3-1 Mammoths.
Second homer of the inning. Dre Williams Nelson getting it started with a big fly. He went down to go get that ball. That was below the ankles, and he just kind of dipped down, got a big barrel on it, and that wind helped it do its job right there. Nice swing from Dre. Love to see that out of him.
Already the player of the week in the USPBL once this year already, and, well, vying for a second nomination early in this week. That ball was crushed. It was a line drive. Another hard hit ball, but foul off the back of Colby Seltzer. (3-1) Mammoths. I do feel a little vindicated for all the talk we were bringing to the wind and how it was carrying. I was very worried that all the fans at home weren't gonna see a home run and be mad at us. We got 2 in the first inning, so I feel like a little like vindicated, or I can't think of the other word. Is you see some of the flags blowing out hard that
you don't feel like the broadcaster's jinx.
Yes, exactly. The 0-2. Ground ball left side past the diving Webb. And that's the first non-home run hit of the inning for the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
Colby Seltzer continues to rip the baseball, and that's his sweet spot right there. He puts a fair share of his hits. That's number 7 on knocks for the year for Colby. But between that shortstop, third base, 5-6 hole and right up the middle is where Colby likes to live. And that's a pitch up high and in that he just keeps his hands inside and gets the barrel to it and lets the wood do the job.
Whit Hughes going out to have a word with his pitcher, John Kelly. As this is, well, the most he's been hit around in an inning early in this campaign.
Yeah, haven't seen an inning like this out of John Kelly. This is his 3rd total appearance, 3rd start. Only 4 hits given up in his first 8 innings of work. Now 3 total hits in this inning alone.
And 2 of them the long ball. And you can make the argument, while the wind may have added some style points to both of them, I don't know if they got out because of the wind.
I agree.
Especially the Dre Williams Nelson.
No,
one. That was a frozen rope over the left field wall.
He was still out in front of it, too. That's credit to his power.
The 1-0. In the dirt, low and away.
I think that's something both these pitchers are going to have to kind of deal with throughout their starts today. Is the ball's going to fly a little farther, so you have to be a little bit more particular and on point with where you're locating pitches.
And I think that starts with getting ahead of batters. So down 2-0 to Nick Webb, that's not a recipe for success.
Now they're free swinging now.
3-0, and John Kelly's had to labor through this inning a bit. Home run from Nick Pastor, 2-run shot from Dre Williams Nelson. Kelly set the 3-0. Uses the slider to get it over, 3-1.
That's the pitch that John's most comfortable with, and when he's going to throw for a strike, expect it again here, and that's what I'd be sitting on if I'm Nick Webb.
3-1, swing and a slicing ball out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Colby Seltzer will be on the move from first on the pitch.
Look where these outfielders are playing.
I was just about to say, I looked up and I see Zeb Roos about 400 feet from us in the broadcast booth.
Schellenbarger's almost at the warning track out there.
And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, a routine fly ball is going to carry that far. Swing and a miss, and Kelly gets his first strike out of the inning to stop the bleeding, but 3 runs come across to score on home runs from Nick Pastor and Dre Williams Nelson. We've played an inning, 3-1 Mammoths here on the USPBL Network.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARBCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARBCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARBCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarbcom.com.
One Westside Woolly Mammoths. Here's the top of the second inning. And the fans getting some softy balls thrown to them. Getting the crowd into this one. They don't need any giveaways. The home runs and the at-bats have been getting them juiced up. It's Jake Shire, Whit Hughes, and Bailey Martin, the 7, 8, 9 due-up for the Diamond Hoppers. And let's see if either pitcher can settle this game down a bit.
I mean, the big swings are going to keep coming for both these teams. And like we mentioned last inning, you really have to zone in as a pitcher on where you're going to locate these pitches because, Brady, you already mentioned, routine fly balls are going to carry an extra 20, 30 feet today. So if you hit a ball to left field at 280, 290, that ball's traveling to the wall.
First pitch to Shire, called strike, fastball just got a part of the plate away. That's a nice first pitch from Blaine. As you see the outfielders, this is a right-handed hitter in Jake Shire as he crushes one to center field past Storr back, and he makes the catch about 380-some feet from home plate. And Tom, right there is why the outfielders are playing so darn deep.
Yeah, if he's playing regular, depth out there, that ball might be getting over his head. You have to adjust not only to the talent at the plate, but also the weather that you're dealing with. They're not playing in a collegiate gym. This is outside baseball with wind swirling around everywhere. Every time you step on a baseball field, your weather's going to be different. Maybe the grass and the turf on the ground is a little bit softer or harder depending on the day, so you always have to make adjustments as a baseball player.
Whit Hughes to the plate. He hits one high, not particularly far in foul territory. Fleming tracking it down, and it's off his glove. Now, he went a long way in that foul territory. Tom, you talked about it. Anywhere from 75 to maybe even 100 feet at some spots in foul territory. He went about a good 80% of the foul territory. At a lot of ballparks, that's a souvenir.
100%. These guys just have to know they have that distance. And a lot of times, too, the ball's going to swing back in towards fair play. A lot of times we'll see guys go after those balls running full speed, and they overrun the baseball because it's got that swing and that spin on it to cut it back in towards the foul lines.
The way Fleming had to track that down, it was almost like how a catcher, when they have to rip the mask off and play the spin and play the wind. The 0-2. Just missed. Not a bad pitch at all. 92, trying to catch that high and away corner. Whit Hughes has a little bit of life. The 1-2. Fouled straight back. Hughes is not going down quietly.
He's put together better at-bats of late. Just 2 hits on the season with 1 RBI to go with that. Still looking for his first walk of the season, too, so he's up there swinging almost every time.
The 1-2, slider missed way too high. I like the idea from Blaine. The execution just not there. Not going to get anyone to offer at a slider neck high.
I think as Blaine settles into his start, those pitches are going to start going for him, and he's going to get a little better spin on the breaking ball.
Chopper, foul down the third baseline. So Whit Hughes battling. If nothing else, he'll go back to the dugout. A quality at-bat, making Blaine throw several pitches, battling, fighting off some 2 strikes. Even if you record an out here, you went up there and you made him throw some pitches. You got to see a lot. Wear him down a little bit, and you'll have something for the next time up.
Yeah, no matter of the result, a 7-8 pitch at-bat is good.
Swing and a miss. Chase the slider low and away. Throw to first, and Hughes is retired. Second punch out of the game for Nate Blaine. It's 2 up, 2 down as Bailey Martin, the 9-hole hitting shortstop, comes to the plate for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Slow start for Bailey this year. 3 for his first 21 and 3 RBIs. When he does connect with the ball, he sends it in the gaps, though. Gets a lot of barrel when he's seeing it well.
Belt-high fastball catches the outer third of the plate for strike 1. Slider misses low and away, 1-1. Nobody on, 2 away. 3-1 Mammoths. We're in the top of the second. Remember, Tom, the first inning kind of went the same way this did. It was a fly out from Van Diver. Ruse struck out. And then the next 4 batters reached, and the Diamond Hoppers had a run.
That's where Blaine makes the adjustment right here. 2 balls with 2 strikes. Does he go with that 94-mile-an-hour fastball inside to tie him up, or the breaking ball away?
The 2-2 went with the slider, tried to get Martin fishing, would not oblige, and the count runs full.
That's a really good eye from your 9-hitter, and that's why he's in that spot. Turning the lineup back over to the top with Van Diver.
3-2 fouled off. We'll see a 7th pitch in this at-bat.
And this is awesome from the bottom half of the lineup. Even though Whit Hughes did end up striking out, these guys are making Blaine throw about 15 to 20 pitches just in the last 2 batters of this lineup. You don't see that very often.
3-2 spoiled again.
And that's something also I think we've seen grow throughout the first couple weeks of this season, Brady, is quality at-bats. First couple weeks, guys were kind of just up there swinging, having 3-4 pitch at-bats. Now guys are really extending their at-bats at the plate and really making those pitchers work for it.
Another foul ball. So Martin being a pest up there. Again, use the term quality at-bat. Any result here, you're at least going to go back to the dugout and say, hey, way to battle. Another pop-up, another souvenir, and Bailey Martin is really making Nate Blaine work here.
Yeah, and he's making him think, too, because Blaine's up there going, gosh, I can't get anything by him right now. What pitch am I going to throw right here?
He's tried the slider. He's tried the fastball. I think he's worked a changeup in there as well. The 3-2 again. Back up the middle, and Martin wins the battle. A 2-out single after a lengthy at-bat. And there's a runner on first with 2 away for the Diamond Hoppers here in the second.
I know we saw 3 base hits last inning for the Hops, but that might be the best at-bat we've seen all day so far from a hitter for Eastside. Unbelievable. Working the off-speed pitches away, fouling them off, and then getting a fastball that you can drive right back up the box. Well done from the 9-hitter, Bailey Martin. And just like you said, Brady, that's how they started last inning with a base runner on and 2 gone. Let's see if they can do it again here with the top of the lineup coming up.
Let's see what adjustments the Hoppers make the second time through the order. Ground ball, takes a bad hop off the shoulder of Williams Nelson. Martin around second. He's heading to third and 8 up past Store, and they hold Martin at the last moment. Ryan Cockey had that windmill going over at third. He put on the brakes at the last moment, and Martin had to scramble back. But again, just like that, runners on second and third with 2 away.
It's a wise call from Cockey over there at third base. Don't run yourself out of an inning. These outfielders all have great arms, and with the top of the lineup, and as you mentioned, Zeb Bruce being so hot lately, leave it up to your next hitter to try to drive these runs in. But a lot of deja vu from last frame. Back-to-back base hits here after the first 2 retired to start the second.
Zeb Bruce went down swinging last time up, takes ball 1. Well, we've had a little bit of everything here in the first inning and a half. Blaine settles in, delivers. Fastball way too high, and it's 2-0. Not really a spot, even with first base open, where you want to pitch around Ruse, because you have Marcoux on coming up, and that loads the bases. You feel like you have to get a challenge pitch here, don't you?
Definitely.
Swing and a pop-up. This should get Blaine out of the inning. 5 Mammoths converge, and Fleming, the tallest of the Mammoths, says, I'll take it myself. The Diamond Hoppers strand a couple runners. I've never seen all 5 infielders converge on 1 pop-up, but a couple of 2-out base runners did not come to pass. We head to the bottom of the second here on the USPBL Network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Back here on the USPBL network, for the past 35 years, Bell's Brewery has been inspired to brew beers that you can count on. Not just for taste, but for quality. From Two Hearted Ale to Oberon, to new classics, Official Hazy IPA, or the easy drinking Golden Ale. Yeah, Bell's has brewed inspired beer since 1985. Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. 3-1 as the Westside Woolly Mammoths lead the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. It will be 8-9-1. Beetle, Sedeno, and Pastor coming to the plate, and John Kelly looking for a bounce-back inning.
Gotta have it. After 2 homers last frame, he walked a guy, gave up 3 total hits. Kelly needs to dial in right here. He's got the bottom half of the lineup, or sorry, bottom third of the lineup coming up here with the 8 and 9 hitters. So if you can get off to the right foot by sitting down Beetle and then Sedeno, you face Nick Pastor once again, who homered on you back last inning. It's going to be a little bit of revenge for Kelly.
First pitch fastball gets us started with the strike, or excuse me, the slider. He likes to start off with that slide piece, and he locates it really well. Again, the pitch he throws the most. Next pitch, basically in the same spot, gets strike 2.
Beetle only 4 hits so far this year, but 3 of the 4 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a homer to start the year for Zach.
The 0-2 wave and a miss. Hughes goes over, fire down to first, and we'll start the second the same way we ended the first with a punch out for John Kelly. Jose Sedeno comes up to the plate.
That's a good start for John here in the second inning. You keep the breaking ball stuff heavy early on against the guy that likes to fish against those pitches. And like I mentioned, if you can take down the 8-9 hitters, it's going to be that much easier as you work throughout this lineup. And as a pitcher, you get a little bit of a mental note on how these guys will operate when the ball comes out of your hand.
This is the first time these two teams are playing each other. Sedeno ambushes the first pitch. Base hit into right, and to be honest with the placement of that pitch, he's probably lucky all it was a single into right field.
Just on top of the ball a little bit for Jose, but he's going to take him whenever he can get him right there with a nice swing.
I mean, he hit it hard. That's over 100 miles per hour off the bat. If he elevates that one, could be some damage, but as it stands, just a single. Lineup turns over. Nick Pastor back to the plate. Homer to lead off the game for the Mammoths. First pitch fastball misses away.
And with heavy off speed coming out of the hand of John Kelly, that ball's going to take a little bit longer to get to home plate. So don't be surprised if guys like Sedeno or others for this team will try to swipe a bag or two when they know they got an extra half second.
Bunt attempt push foul. Webb playing well behind the baseline over at third. Nick Pastor got the scoring started with the Mammoths, that home run back in the first inning. Again, just pulled it right down the right field line. Kelly with a long look in. Throws over to first. All Ferguson can do is glove it. Now, Kelly, I know this is not unique to him, but you don't see it a lot. He checks the runner most of the time through his back shoulder. Yep. He looks behind him to get a glance at the runner leading off of first.
Now, some guys find that easier.
You feel like it would torque the neck a lot more.
Yeah.
because when you're looking at the plate and you just have to give a quick glance, that's a lot of movement. Off to second, Sedeno, no throw. There's a runner in scoring position for the Mammoths.
Second stolen bag of the year for Sedeno. He's been caught one time, but no throw right there out of the hand of Hughes. That's a nice pitch to go on right there on Sedeno as it was a breaking ball.
3-1 to Pastor. Not a chance. Hit off the glove of Hughes. That puts runners on the corners. So the passed ball and the walk. And the Mammoths in business again here in inning number 2.
That ball can't get off of Hughes' glove like that. Got to be able to squeeze it because now a runner at third base. I know you have a double play up the middle right here, but Pastor can also run it a little bit. There's a chance that Nick tries to swipe second. He's 2 for 2 stealing bases this year. We've already seen Cedeno do it a moment ago. And now it's if he goes and he's safe, it's going to be second and third with one gone. Got to keep that ball in the glove. There he goes.
Pitch up high, throw down, one hop the tag, got him. Return throw to the plate. No, it got away from Hughes. I thought he was going to get the swipe tag. So in the blink of an eye, the base is clear, and the Mammoths have a 4-1 lead.
I think Westside will take that. Head coach Taylor Jellikowski obviously putting that steal on for Pastor on the very first pitch. Hughes knew it was coming. He had a beautiful throw down to second base. The tag was laid nicely. But also, when that ball goes all the way down to second, a guy like Cedeno who has speed over at third base, just 90 feet away, he's going to be scrambling home. And they'll take the run right there to extend their lead.
I think Florentino's saying, well, where's my RBI opportunity now? And he chops one over to short, so the send gets a run for the Mammoths. Kelly gets Florentino to bounce out. 4-1 Westside. We played 2 innings here on the USPBL Network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be. Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is making a Fifth Third better.
Top of the third, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths showing a little wallop from the plate. They have a 4-1 lead, but the meat of the order coming up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Marcoux, Gehrig, and Ferguson all coming to the plate.
3 of the 4 base runners back from the first inning. Marcoux walked and scored, followed by Gehrig, Ferguson, and Schellenbarger, all with singles. See if they can follow it up in their second at-bat.
First pitch. Pitcher's pitch on a fastball, maybe a hair away. Let's give some credit to Beetle. I think he may have stole that pitch a bit.
That's why he's behind the plate so often for this Mammoths team. Both head coach Taylor Jellikowski and assistant Justin Karn very familiar with Zach and know that he's always going to do a good job behind the dish.
Next pitch misses, 2 balls and a strike.
Whoa.
Swing and a ball crushed to right field. Marcoux knew it immediately. No one's getting that one. The 3rd home run of the game, and Noah Marcoux, a 432-foot blast, and the Diamond Hoppers get one back.
Wow. What a swing. That ball was to almost the deepest part of the park, and we lost that baseball halfway up in the trees out there because how far it went. Wow.
So I never thought this was going to have to be something we bring up. So the trees out in right center field as Garrett comes to the plate. There's the trees, and then there's a hill. There's a stream back behind a stream, a creek, a small river, whatever you want to call it, a body of moving water behind those trees. I bet you that ball is waterlogged right
100%.
now.
That was absolutely massive.
Yeah, there you see the shot. There's the tree. So back behind that tree line, it goes down. If you've ever been to Jimmy John's Field, on the other side of that stream is the parking lot where a lot of the fans will park before games. That ball, I almost guarantee you, is somewhere in the stream. Might have knocked out a fish or a toad or something.
Might have hit a windshield, too. It went that far.
432 since we've had TrackMan last year. That's the farthest home run I can remember in a game. That was ridiculous.
And a good thing for the Hoppers to battle back. Westside had already hit 2 home runs, and Noah Marcoux says, let me get in on the action with a solo shot.
4-2 Mammoths. The 2-2 swing and a looping line drive into left field and back-to-back hits. I will say, now I really feel vindicated for all the talk about the win pregame. We had the longest home run I can remember seeing in a game since I've been here, since the start of last year.
Farthest this year by far.
Oh, absolutely. Very rarely do you get the home runs where the outfielders just go, yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying. And both Florentino and Pastor took about a step and a half and went, yeah, we're good. Ferguson, a big swing and a miss. He drove in a run his first time up. 1 for 1 on the day.
Garrick staying consistent with that base hit. Same spot he put his first one in the first inning.
Ball gets away from Beetle. Garrick will scoot up into scoring position.
That ball just snuck right by Beetle. Going to be a pass ball to allow the runner up. And this is how the Hoppers are going to have to come back in this ball game now, only trailing by 2 runs. But take advantage of those pass balls, and they're doing their thing at the plate, so no need to worry about that.
Well, with Garrick moving up into scoring position, no one better early in the year than Ben Ferguson at driving guys in. 11 coming in. The RBI back in the first gave him a league-leading 12th RBI. Fastball. Thought that caught a lot of the plate. Beetle was set up away, and I think that crossed up his catcher and the umpire.
Yeah, whenever a catcher has to kind of reach across his body and it's not right centered in the middle of where he's set up, that can skew a call from behind the plate.
2-1. Swing and a miss, and Ferguson had ill intentions with that hack.
That's the type of swing you want on 2-1 right there. Absolutely unload on a baseball. And how the ball's traveling out today, any barrel you get, the ball's going to have a little extra push.
Blaine set the pitch. Misses away. Count runs full. Bryant Schellenbarger waits on deck for the Diamond Hoppers. 1 run home this inning on the Noah Marcoux long ball. 4-2 Westside. Still nobody out.
Blaine just passed 60 pitches, by the way, through 2 innings of work.
And that's his second walk of the contest. So 2 on, nobody out as Bryant Schellenbarger comes to the plate. So of the 14 batters that have come to the plate, 9 have reached base safely for the Diamond Hoppers. Schellenbarger waves and misses at a pitch away. They have 7 hits. They've walked twice, yet they find themselves down a couple runs.
Those long balls, man. 2-run shot from Dre Williams-Nelson. That was the big stepper.
And getting thrown out at home back in the first. Schellenbarger fouls one back. That ended the rally for the Hoppers in the opening frame. Runners on first and second. It's Gehrig on second. Ferguson over at first. Blaine comes set. The 0-2. Swing and a chopper foul on the first base side. Schellenbarger stays alive.
It's the type of swing that Nate Blaine wants out of Schellenbarger right now. A slow ground ball to try to turn 2 on. With nobody out and 2 on, you're looking to get a 2-for-1 right here as Williams-Nelson up the middle along with Seltzer are going to be playing double play depth.
Blaine comes set. Time called by Schellenbarger. He uses 1 timeout here. And you mentioned the pitch count getting over 60. No stirring in that Mammoth bullpen.
I think they might stretch him out into the 80s, maybe the 90s, depending on how the rest of this game unfolds.
The 0-2. Misses high and away. 3 batters so far in the inning, a home run, a single, and a walk. Blaine would love a ground ball to alleviate some of this pressure. Ground ball to first. Fleming steps on one to second. The tag. They got 2 the hard way. The 3-6 double play. And how the momentum of an inning can turn on a single pitch.
You asked for the ground ball, you got it. And Fleming with an absolute seed down to second base after he touched on to first. Well done from the Mammoths to try to minimize this inning.
And the placement of the ball as well. Yeah, he got a lot behind it, but if that,
that's what I mean.
If that ball is chest high or above, then Ferguson's safe at second.
No, that was a perfect throw. I mean, had the velocity, had the accuracy, and that's a veteran guy over there at first base that knows exactly where to throw that baseball.
You can tell he was a pitcher, a two-way player in college by the accuracy of that throw. 1-1 on Jake Shire.
Let's see if Shire can come up with some 2-out magic, something that we've seen grow throughout the last couple games in the USPBL, just clutch swings with 2 gone.
Right at short. 1 hop into the glove of Seltzer. He'll throw across the diamond, and the Diamond Hoppers are retired. They lead it off with a home run and a single and a walk. They can't get any more. Jake Shire, your 5th third out of the game, as it's been a back and forth affair so far. Everyone's been working hard, and JJ making sure our umpire will get the water. Oh, he delivered the water. Now he's going to have fun by himself with the carrying case. Again, JJ, oh, he's got to get the treat as well. That's what calmed him down. You got to make sure he gets the treat. He is ready to go this weekend. JJ presented by Michigan First Credit Union. We'll take a break, come back in the bottom of the 3rd here on the USPBL Network.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Back here on the USPBL Network, Brady Beaton alongside Tom Cavanaugh. Tom's to my right, but the what title are we going to give Mr. Wiles to my left?
Lead baseball analytics intern.
Lead baseball analytics intern. We'll give him the respect he deserves, Mr. Wiles. And he informed us during the break that Noah Marcoux's home run went 434 feet. A very long home run. Last year, the longest home run was 413 feet, hit by none other than Noah Marcoux. So there we are up here, Mr. Wiles. Get in here. Come here. Look, yeah, right over here. Here, you got to get in the picture. Come on. There he is. There's the guy that feeds us all our advanced stats, the lead data analytics intern. He makes us sound a lot smarter than we are with the numbers he gives to us and in real time.
Oh, yeah. He makes it sound so flawless throughout the game, and the information that he gives us on a gamely basis, it's incredible. It's just so much at our fingertips to be able to delve into these guys, their careers, and what they're doing here at Jimmy John's Field. So thank you, Devin. We really appreciate it, man.
Yes, there's a reason why Devin is the lead data analytics intern here. He's a returning one, and he's a good one for sure. Fox Liam has the jackknife out of the way. Quickly 2-0. Diamond Hoppers got the one back on the aforementioned home run from Noah Marcoux in the top of the inning. I think it's important that John Kelly gets a 0 up on the scoreboard here to try to settle the game down a bit.
Got to do it. Got to find a 0 on the scoreboard. These Mammoths are continuing to smack the baseball all around.
Fox Liam, he was looking to answer that home run That swing came up empty, 2-1. Two-one fastball high and in, or excuse me, off speed high and in.
Liam always finds himself in counts like this, 2-0, 3 balls and 1 strike, and that's where his 8 walks on the year have come from in 12 at-bats, excuse me now, 14 at-bats.
Walk number 9.
That's wild.
Why do we like him? Why does Brad Pitt like him? Because he gets on base.
He's got a .525 on-base percentage through now 14 at-bats with 9 walks.
And that brings up a bigger point where you get the new age versus the old school kind of people in baseball where, I mean, there are some people on the one extreme. The new age, there might be people who don't even care about batting average.
Right.
And then you get some of the old school guys where batting average is a core statistic. And I think Fox Liam is a case study, at least early on in this small sample size of, well, I think I reside somewhere in the middle. Tom, not sure where you stand, where you have to use them all with each other. But you look, you go, oh, he's hitting under 200. He's not having a good year. But when he's getting on base more than half the time, heck yeah, he's helping the Mammoths win ball games.
Yeah, he's scored 4 times now. From those 8 walks, this could be his 5th time scoring if he comes around now with Drew Fleming at the dish. But you're right. I like to look at all the different statistics and then make my, I guess, conclusion through a huge summary of all those numbers.
The 1-1 misses low and away.
You're right. With Liam, he's only hitting $167 so far this year with 2 knocks. But with how many times he's able to get on base and come around and score for his team, he does so much more than what it looks like from just looking at that average.
The 2-1 to Fleming. Big swing and a miss. Couldn't find the slider away, 2-2. And I think if people want to find, I guess it's human nature. You want to find the one stat that tells you this is how good of a hitter a guy is and not have to look at a bunch. The 2-2, another pop-up. And Kelly is called off by Ferguson over at first. Kelly wanted that one. He called for it. You could hear it up in the booth for us. He said, me, me, me. And then Ferguson went, mine, get away.
Yeah, usually you don't want your pitcher taking the pop-ups, but also Kelly was all over that one. It's kind of a cardinal rule to have your infielders come and help out your pitcher to go grab that ball. But now Fleming skied up on the infield twice now. He's just getting tough pitches. Kelly is going inside on the hands with a fastball, and Fleming's just not able to get a barrel there. We'll see later in this game how he fares.
Dre Williams Nelson homered back in the first inning. A check swing foul ball. Lead this at bat off. 4-2 Mammoths. We're in the bottom of the third. Fox Liam over at first. He walked for the 400th time already this season. Kelly comes set the pitch. Misses low and away, 1-1. And he could use a ground ball that his counterpart got in the top half of the inning.
Yeah, some of this middle infield, Martin and Vandiver, 2 of the best middle infielders in the entire USPBL, have turned 4 double plays so far this season.
Looking for number 5, the 1-1 swing. Ooh, that caught Hughes. He went down right away. I'm not sure where that got him. Maybe the thigh is.
Yeah, I was going to say upper thigh. The ball came right off the bat and squared him up right as he was squatting down and kind of turning over a little bit. He's going to be just fine. You know Witt well, and all catchers are really tough guys, but he's not showing any sign of weakness here.
He didn't let Ryan Cockey get halfway out of the dugout, which, again, the dugouts are quite the distance away, so that's still about a 50-foot walk before he had to stop. But home plate umpire just giving him a moment. It's that unspoken relationship. Hey, if the umpire takes a foul ball off the mask or off the shoulder, the catcher goes out, talks to the pitcher, and the umpire will return in kind, giving Witt just a moment to collect himself after the foul ball. 1-2. Kelly set. The kick and deal. Swing and a line drive into left. He's out in front of it. But Dre Williams Nelson picks up his second hit of the ball game.
That shows how well Dre is at getting his hands through the zone and keeping them through the strike zone. As you mentioned, he's out in front of that baseball right there and continues to keep the barrel all the way through the zone as long as possible on a breaking pitch and slaps it into left field. That looked kind of similar to his home run ball. He was a little bit on his backside, more loaded up on the home run, but still bottom part of the zone. Got to fish at it a little bit and get yourself a knock. Well done.
Swing and a fly ball. Colby Seltzer got all of it. 3-run blast for Seltzer. Absolutely crushed it. The 4th home run of the game, 3rd for the Mammoths.
We talked about Seltzer pregame. He had been coming on with a fair amount of singles. That's his first bomb of the year. What a swing from Colby right there. My goodness. Almost 400 feet of distance, clearing the trees again. Wow. It's been a great day for baseball here, just on the long ball. I know we talked about it pregame, Brady, but I'm glad it's living up to the hype.
Now, pitchers beware. Have the forewarning because this has been a batter's day all day long. As I didn't even get the chance to say that if you're John Kelly, you have to be frustrated because the pitch to Williams Nelson that he singled was the pitch you wanted him to swing at. It was a slider low and away, and if he puts it 5 feet to the right, Seltzer doesn't even get a chance to do that damage. The 0-1 fouled off the ground and off the leg of Webb. So we've seen a solo shot, we've seen a 2-run blast, we've seen a 3-run home run. Tom, we have 6 innings left to get a grand slam.
By what we've seen so far today, I'm expecting it.
By the way, that Colby Seltzer home run, 101 off the bat.
Oh.
0-2, and that hits Webb. That's those are the type of pitches that break clipboards and dugouts. That's the frustrating one. Had him way ahead in the count. And then you just miss with the pitch, catches him in the leg, and now there's a runner on first with 1 away as this inning continues to roll on.
Yeah, Kelly's got to find a way to get out of this frame. He's allowed to run in every inning now, and that just kind of starts to tax on you as a starting pitcher once you realize these guys are cashing in for 1 or more every inning.
And the Diamond Hoppers are going to be busy this weekend. 3 games on the weekend. They have the one today. They're back at it tomorrow. They have Saturday off, but they play Sunday as well. So I think Ryan Cockey's going to have to get as much as he can out of John Kelly in this one. Beetle in knots on that swing. Whatever he was guessing, that's not what came.
Not much too low right there. Beetle's mind was already made up before that swing. This is a guy you need to get right here for out number 2, or maybe roll a ground ball. Get out of the inning.
Throw to first and Webb back in sliding. Again, all pickoff rules that apply in Major League Baseball apply here as well. The 0-2 swing and a pop-up. Right side of the infield, and once again Ferguson calls everyone else off. Both outs this inning recorded on pop-outs over to Ferguson. And Kelly 1 away from trying to limit this inning from getting out of hand.
A little bit of stretching going on in the Hopper bullpen last frame. And this inning, a little bit of it as well. Nothing at the moment, but I'd imagine maybe you give Kelly 1 more inning of work right now, but these Mammoths are just pouring it on. I don't know if it matters who's on the mound right now. Westside is just clicking on all cylinders offensively.
Again, the wind has maybe added some style points to these home runs. But
yeah, that ball would not have
the Marcoux home run was no doubt out of here. The Seltzer home run, no doubt out of here. Caught between first and second. The throw, the tag, didn't get him. Oh, Ferguson went clockwise. If he just spins around on the backhand to make the tag, then Webb's out by 10 feet.
Yep, he went the wrong way with the tag.
I don't think he realized quite where Webb was caught between the base paths.
That was clear as day, too.
As Webb, well, he avoids a long, lonely walk back to the dugout.
I thought that got a piece of his foot.
I thought so as well, but whenever you make a tag so far from the upper body on a head-first slide, the field umpire, and from his angle, it's going to be tough to tell. Just the way he spun, you almost are inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to the base runner.
Yeah, Ferguson didn't sell it well. He kind of reached for the tag, and if you're a little more, I guess, casual with it and you act like you got him and you start to flip it around the infield and jog off the field, that can kind of put a little pressure on your field umpire to make that call and make it an out. But with Ferguson reaching for it and kind of looking back at the field umpire.
Hoping he's going to go up with the right hand.
Yep.
Absolutely. You have to sell the call. Make the umpire tell you no. The 1-2 in the dirt. Webb scoots up this time. He was off with the pitch anyway, so mark that in the books as a stolen base. 7-2 Mammoths. We're here in the bottom of the third. As home runs from Pastor, Dre Williams, Nelson, and Colby Seltzer have propelled this Westside lineup into the 5-run lead. Count runs full to Cedeno.
If it stays like this, Brady, I'll be surprised if we get through 9 full innings of baseball.
Tom referencing the 2.5-hour rule we have here at the USPBL. Once we reach 2.5 hours, usually the next full inning will be the final inning. Swing and a miss from Cedeno, and Kelly gets his 3rd punch out of the day, but the Westside Woolly Mammoths, they deliver a couple big blows. Again, Colby Seltzer with a 3-run blast. We head to the 4th. Westside leads it 7-2 over the Diamond Hoppers here on the USPBL network.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
To the Westside Woolly Mammoths lead the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and you see the way that flag's blowing out in dead center field. Been anywhere from about 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, and it's been like this since batting practice. No surprise we've seen 4 total home runs in 3 innings, Tom.
Nope. Brady, you mentioned the home runs are likely getting out of here even without the wind, but it's definitely carrying the ball an extra 20 to 30 feet, and it's straight out to center field, which means if the ball's put in the air anywhere from the left field corner all the way to the right side, it is pushing straight out to the fences, and that's where we've seen a lot of the 9 combined runs over the first 3 innings of play.
And the USPBL, traditionally a pitcher's league. This ballpark usually plays pretty well to the pitchers. The team that have the better pitching usually have success, but today it's been the hitter's revenge on both sides. It's Whit Hughes, Bailey Martin, and Blake Van Diver to the plate. Hughes went down swinging his first time up. Down 5 here in the 4th. You don't have to get all 5 back now, but you'd like to get 1 or 2 back.
You find a way to chip away. Blaine had himself gave up a run last inning, so it was the 1 home run to Noah Marcoux. If he's able to keep the ball in the ballpark, I think they'll be just fine. But a lot of nice swings, 7 total hits so far for these Hoppers.
Hughes lets that pitch go low and away, 1-2. The 1-2. Check swing, doesn't matter. Strike 3. Caught him with the fastball. First backwards K of the day for Blaine, and it's 1 up, 1 down here in the Hopper half of the 4th.
Upper outer corner, nice pitch from Nate. That's the right start you want to have. He retired the first 2 batters in the first 2 innings, gave up the home run to Marcoux in the 3rd. So getting back on track, retiring the opening hitter once again.
Bailey Martin swings at the first pitch, fouls it straight back. But how about the love that Blaine's getting from his teammates? You show up, you get 7 runs of support in the first 3 innings. You're thinking life's pretty good on the west side, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, especially with just the amount of hitters they have on this team that can do the damage. 3 separate hitters all across the entire lineup. The 1, 5, and 6 hitters have gone deep.
Martin to center field. Pastor had it in his tracks. He brings it in for out number 2. Could we get a 1-2-3 inning? It's up to Blake Van Diver to get on base. So Van Diver reached last time, lined out to left in his inaugural at-bat. First pitch, slider through the back door for strike 1. Have not had a 1-2-3 inning from either side in this one.
We're not going to get it here.
I don't think that caught him.
Really? That's wild. I thought that got all of them.
At first, it did. I think it hit the dirt in front of him, and from our angle up in the press box, I think it was more of a illusion because that was about a 58-foot pitch. Ground ball to short. Seltzer throws over, and we get the 1-2-3 inning. A strikeout, a flyout, and a ground out, and the Diamond Hoppers are retired in order. Mammoths in control of this one here as we head to the bottom of the 4th. 7-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network.
Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great time at Jimmy John's Field experiencing another exciting baseball game. This ballpark is one of many quality of life recreational assets Macomb County has to offer. And as you leave here today, let me invite you to explore Macomb County's diverse range of outdoor assets by visiting MakeMacombYourHome.com. You'll find that Macomb County's trails are open year-long and available for walking, running, biking, as well as paddling along the Clinton River. In Macomb County, there is something for everyone. Find out more about Macomb County's 4 seasons of fun by visiting MakeMacombYourHome.com. Now let's play ball.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Back here on the USPBL Network, solving all the world's problems up here in the press box. Brady Beaton alongside Tom Cavanaugh. Is John Kelly going out for a 4th inning, and I'd have to imagine, Tom, if this was the only game or the Hoppers only had one other contest this weekend, Kelly might be relieved by this point. But the simple fact is they're going to have 18 more innings to play after today. They're going to need to get every mile they can out of this starter.
100%. As you mentioned, multiple games. They have 7 pitchers on the roster, and they are going to need to kind of be strategic on when they're going to use those guys over the next couple of games. And down by 5 runs right now, I know the Mammoths are just killing it offensively right now, but hopefully Ryan Kotke is hoping that his guy on the mound and John Kelly can start to pardon these guys just down a little bit.
Pastor leads us off. It's top of the order. Pastor, Florentino, Liam. Rolls over the first one to the right side. Ferguson's been busy at first base. He flips to the pitcher, Kelly covering, and 1 pitch is all he needs to retire the leadoff man, Pastor. Francis Florentino 0 for 2 today, a fly out and a ground out. He's one of the few Mammoths that Kelly's been able to manage. Big swing and a miss at a slider in the dirt. He was looking to do damage with that swing.
That's where you're going to get Florentino off balance. If you can keep that slider down and away, off the plate, he's a guy that'll fish after some pitches in the dirt. So want to keep that pitch right there. Can't give him anything too good. We've seen Florentino go deep twice in the same day. That was last Saturday.
0-1. Kelly set, holds, steps off. They're going to get a pitch clock violation. They are. Because the disengagement with no one on doesn't restart the clock. So that's a free ball to Florentino. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Another healthy hack from Florentino comes up empty. 1-2.
Exactly where you want it right there.
And the pitch clock, last year when it was first implemented, we were good for 1, maybe 2 a game in the first month in May last year. The 1-2 swing and a poke job foul. That hit off the very end of the bat. Count remains 1-2. But we were good for a violation about once a game, maybe twice. By the time June got to July, you'd get 1 a game or every other game. And by the end of the season, it was maybe 1 a weekend. And now I think that was the second one I've seen all year. Florentino goes down swinging, offered at the same pitch 3 times in a row, and Kelly says, thank you very much. That's his 4th punch out of the day.
Yeah, Kelly must have heard us up here talking about keep that pitch low in the dirt and away from the right-handed hitter with a big swing, and that's exactly what he did. Florentino sees that pitch right at about the thigh when it's coming out of the hand, and he already starts his swing before that spin and drop of the baseball happens, so just swung right over top of 3 pitches right there.
So Fox Liam with 9 walks on the year. Check swing went around for strike 1.
He scored twice today.
So Liam waits on the 0-1 in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kelly looking for the 1-2-3 inning. Be a quick 4th inning. Check swing. Did he go around? No appeal. Tom, your initial reaction is he went around, and I was inclined to agree with you. I was shocked there wasn't at least a check down to first.
I thought there was going to be a check for sure.
Break for Liam. 2-1. Slider catches the outer part of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kelly working from the stretch. Kicks and deals. Missed low. And would you look at that, a 3-ball count for Fox Liam.
Every time. He just knows how to work a count and has such great discipline at the plate, a great eye in this lefty batter coming from multiple Division I colleges.
The payoff pitch to Liam. Swing and a tapper foul.
Those are the type of pitches right there that keep him in the at-bat. That might not have been his best pitch for him to drive upper inner corner, but still getting a piece of it and extending the at-bat, making Kelly continue to throw strikes to him.
Nobody on, 2 away. 7-2 Mammoths here in the bottom of the 4th. Kelly settles in the offering. Swing and a miss. And Liam goes down on strikes. Back-to-back punch-outs as Kelly has 5 on the day. We head to the 5th inning. 7-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be. Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
In the game for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, the Southpaw, 6 innings of work. He's got a 1-0 record. He's allowed 4 runs on 4 hits. He has walked 3. But Meyer coming in from the left side, the Milwaukee native, will take over with a 7-2 lead here in the 5th.
80 total pitches for Nate Blaine in his start.
Won't get a decision.
Nope, but he gave up the 2 runs and that 1 home run to Noah Marcoux.
Not a bad professional debut. Always great to get the first one out of the way. Collected 3 strikeouts. Again, gave up the, no pun intended, mammoth shot to Noah Marcoux. But besides that, after the first inning, pitched pretty well, only gave up singles outside of the home run, retired the last 5 batters he faced, did a nice job settling in. It's Roos, Marcoux, and Gehrig coming up to the plate. Lefty Meyer kicks and deals. Roos offers at the first pitch, fouls it over to the right side of the diamond. A strikeout and a pop-out. Not the best day for Roos, but when you start off hitting 500, when you're 9 for 18, and your on-base percentage is over 600, you can get away with a bad day once in a while. Well, Meyer will come with the fastball the majority of the time. His next best pitch, the slider. But he's going to pepper you with a fair deal of fastballs. Ground ball right back to where it came. The glove of Jacob Meyer. He'll jog over, flip to Fleming, and it's 1 up, 1 down.
Good start for Meyer right there. He's going to pitch to contact and keep that ball on the ground. Not a ton of big flies out of the hand of Meyer. He's only given up 2 doubles on the year. Those are all the extra base hits that he has allowed this season. And it's always tough. Crafty lefty, multiple lefties in this lineup coming up with Marcoux, Ferguson, and Schellenbarger to follow.
So a lefty-lefty matchup. I don't think that's lost on Taylor Jelenkowski and why he brought the lefty in for this batter, Marcoux, who hit the longest home run of this season, smashed the record for longest home run of last season. His own record, by the way, by 23 feet, a 434-foot blast. The 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. Now, I don't know if we can dig farther back than last year with numbers like that, but at least in the TrackMan era, that 434-foot home run is the longest recorded in the last 2, this season and last year of the USPBL, and it's not close. 1-2 to Marcoux. Meyer looks in, comes set, works from the third base side of the rubber. The 1-2. Strike 3 called, dots the corner. Beautiful pitch from Meyer, and it's 2 up, 2 down.
Such a crafty pitch from Jacob Meyer. Continuing to fade away from the lefty Marcoux. He continued to watch that pitch sift off the plate, and it just grabs the corner. Well done from Meyer, getting his first strikeout of the night.
Brings up Matt Gehrig. First pitch swinging, comes up empty. 2 hits today. Well, his average raise now above 300. Came in today at 280. Couple of singles. Been stranded at third both times, coincidentally enough.
And Meyer's finding some hidden spots right now in this strike zone. Tough places where these hitters don't want to pull the trigger, but their strike's all the same.
Swinging a foul straight back. So after the offensive explosion we had in the first 3 innings, there have now been, by my count, 8 straight batters retired? Excuse me, 10, because you have to, if you go back to the inning where runs were, where the Mammoths put up the runs, the last 2 batters there got out. Then it was a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 4th, a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 4th, and unless Gehrig can get on base, it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th as Meyer misses up. All the offense was used up, apparently.
Yeah, water finds its level at some point, and that wind, even though it's still continuing to blow out, the sun has begun to set a little bit. It's not as hot. That ball is just not jumping as far. We haven't seen any flies also since that 3rd inning.
Swing and a miss. A ground out to the pitcher, a looking and a swinging strikeout, and Jacob Meyer comes in and makes short work of the Diamond Hopper order. We head to the bottom of the 5th, still 7-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing, 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early, giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees, and helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Caleb Rush into the game for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The 6'6", 240-pound of Fortville, Indiana, will take the bump. Tom, he has struggled a bit in very limited innings so far this season.
Yeah, but he's come in relief every single time, his 4th total appearance, and he's come in with tough situations. Remember back, he was in Game 2 of a doubleheader against the Unicorns where he gave up 2 or 3 runs after coming in bases loaded, nobody out. Rush has had to work out of some jams. He gets a fresh inning here as he faces the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Really like to see what Caleb can do. He's even up with 5 walks and 5 strikeouts in his 3 2/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 1 double, so not a ton of extra base power, but you can't really say that with a guy like Drew Fleming at the dish who does hit for extreme power.
Swing and another pop-up. He's been under it all night long. Over to the right side. The second pop out to Van Diver, the 3rd on the line for Fleming. 1 pitch, and Rush gets the 1st out of the inning. Another problem for Rush in the 3 2/3. I guess now 4 total innings, 5 walks. That's been a theme with when you look at the high ERAs, not just on the Diamond Hoppers, although they don't have a lot of high ERAs, but throughout the league, walks always seem to be the main culprit.
Yeah, a guy like Fox Liam, I mean, perfect example. He's a guy that's already scored 5 times with 9 walks. So if you walk people, chances are they're going to come in to score, especially against a team like these Mammoths right here that will take advantage of base runners that get a free pass and knocking them in.
Dre Williams-Nelson to the plate. He's seeing the ball really well. Homered his first time up, drove in 2, singled later, scored back in the 3rd. First time facing Rush. Pitch misses in the dirt, 1-1. Rush, well, very simple. He's got a fastball, he's got a curveball. Keeps it simple and tries to locate the pitches, make one play off the other.
That 12-6 curveball's got a ton of break to it, and also out of the hand of Rush, who is 6'6". It's let out of the hand a little bit closer to home plate, so has later break.
92, buzzing the tower just a bit. 2 balls and a strike. To Dre Williams-Nelson, who came in last season, took him a little bit to get acclimated here, but once he did, he was finished out the year strong last year, and well, this year the numbers speak for themselves. Curveball drops in center cut. Williams-Nelson had to have been sitting fastball, because if he was waiting on the curveball, that's not where you want to spot it if you're Rush.
No, that's like the Kershaw curveball that starts real high near the nose and falls in right down the middle. Got to be more careful right there, especially if Williams-Nelson is looking after a pitch like that.
2-2, time called. Or do we get a pitch clock violation? Now, I wasn't paying hyper close attention. But, Tom, I mean, the pitch clock's out there. 15 seconds is 15 seconds. It just felt like a quick 15 seconds.
I agree with you there.
3-2. Swing and a foul back out of play. Count remains 3-2. There you see the pitch clock. So here at Jimmy John's Field, there's the one directly behind the pitcher. It's slightly off center to left field. And then there's one behind the plate. That one, on the first base side, right on the backstop.
Yeah, so both sides have a pretty good view of it, but it's more important for the pitcher.
Swing and a fly ball, pushed foul into the bullpen down that right field side. Count remains 3-2 as Tom, with our windows open here in the press box, you can feel the cool starting to set in over downtown Utica. Temperatures have dropped fairly, I don't want to say significantly, but noticeably here Jimmy John's Field.
Yeah, Brady, I thought we were going to get a little bit of that cold rain-ish wind that runs through here. Thankfully, no rain in the forecast right now, but it just kind of felt that way with the breeze.
Temperature just barely hanging on above 70 degrees. As Williams-Nelson works a walk, 1 on, 1 away. When I was coming in, the very unofficial thermometer of my Lincoln said it was anywhere from about 79 to 81 when I got here at about 4 o'clock today. Colby Seltzer comes to the plate. I think his home run back in the 3rd just landed. First pitch fastball called strike. 0-1. And Tom, I feel a little bad for Colby Seltzer, because on most nights his home run will be the talk of the ballpark, but it was a long one. Just nowhere near as long as Marcus. And I mean, he got the 3-run shot. I don't think he's going to complain too much, but he did crush that one.
Yeah, I've been really waiting for Colby to get into a baseball like that. We mentioned in previous at-bats he's swung the bat well, sticking singles out there to right center field in between that 5-6 hole, but finally got into one, and he drilled it out there to left center field. As you mentioned, that ball might still be carrying too.
So he has the 3-run home run. We've seen every type but the grand slam. The 0-2 swing and a miss. 93 at the letters, and Rush overpowers him for his first strikeout of the outing.
With Rush also being so tall, that plane of the baseball kind of on a little bit of a downward slope right there because of how tall he is, and we got a meeting on the field right now to talk about something.
What could this be about?
Attention directed over towards head coach Taylor Jellikowski, I think, or Whit Hughes. They're looking in that direction.
I mean, that seemed as simple of a strikeout as possible. The pitch clock went out. That's what it is.
Okay.
The pitch clock's out in center field. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Hopefully field umpires got a stopwatch on him. Got to make the adjustment just like the players do.
I've never seen the announcers jig work on a piece of equipment. As a foul ball hit off of Whit Hughes again. He's taking a beating behind the plate as he tossed that ball to the side. I can't imagine he's too happy with getting pelted again.
Now he's taken a beating in previous games. Our home plate umpires done the same. So a lot of ricocheted foul balls coming off the bat or deflected off of a glove have found a few of the humans behind home plate for some pain, but
off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly who it was, but there was a game last year where I'm telling you both catchers took about 6 foul balls. I think one of them had caught, it was like his 3rd game of the weekend or something like that, where you're hoping for something quiet, and he just got beat up. Throw to first. They got him. Williams Nelson dancing a bit too much, and Rush picks him off to end the inning. He faces the minimum. We head to the 6th. Still 7-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Back here on the USPBL Network, fans enjoying the pitchers duel that broke out in the middle of the home run derby we were having through the first 3 innings. It was 7-2 after 3. We head to the 6th, and it's still 7-2.
These relievers starting to settle down a little bit in Jacob Meyer and Caleb Rush. A good 1, 2, 3 frames for both of those guys. First time we've really seen that all day, except for the 4th inning for the Mammoths at the dish. I think we might stay somewhere around this score right here, even though it has been, as you said, a home run derby. These teams starting to really settle into what the game has turned into right now, and the pressure is all on these Eastside Diamond Hoppers to scratch a few more off. Best team in the league right now at 6-2. They do not want to drop that game to the Mammoths, but I think right here is a matchup we might see later on in the season in the playoffs.
The last couple of innings, and we're quickly approaching the latter third of the game as Ben Ferguson, Bryant Schellenbarger, and Jake Shire come to the plate. Meyer didn't have to work too hard to get out of his first inning out of the pen.
No, a couple of strikeouts to end the frame. He actually recorded all 3 outs with the put out to Zeb Roos on a ground ball right back to Meyer. And if you're Jacob, just continue to do your thing. Multiple lefties coming up. The first 2 batters he'll face this inning are lefties, so that slider cutting away from the left-handed hitter here is going to pay dividends.
There is a little bit of movement in the Mammoth bullpen. I have to imagine that is in the plan for Taylor Jelenkowski, the manager for the Mammoths, to start the next inning. As you mentioned, with the 2 lefties coming up, this is a perfect spot for Meyer.
Yeah, want to keep these guys off balance by mixing in multiple arms over the next couple of innings.
1-0. Missed just a bit high to the righty Ferguson.
Meyer was so good last inning at getting ahead of hitters. Both on Marcoux and Gehrig, struck out both of those 2. Got to fight back in this at-bat here to start.
2-0. That one found a lot of the plate. And that's a 2-0 pitch that you're hoping Ferguson can do damage with. That caught a lot of the plate. 2-1 on the way in the dirt. 3-1 to Ferguson. Yet to be retired in this one. Singled in a run back in the first. Drew a walk last time up. And the count 3-1 here to lead off the top of the 6th. Pitch, center, cut. That's another pitch that caught a lot of the plate that Ferguson let go by.
Yeah, on a 3-1 count, it's the hitter's count. You got to go after that right there. But I like them being a little patient here. Find any way on base. They're down by 5. Need to scrap a couple few here in this inning.
Strike 3 called, a pitcher's pitch for Meyer, and that's 3 straight punch-outs for the southpaw.
And that's how you battle back, man. Going down 2-0, you work it back to 3-1. You're still not entirely in the at-bat as a pitcher, and you throw back-to-back perfect pitches. That one grabbing the outside corner, and Ferguson's got to head back. That's 3 straight strikeouts now out of the hand of Jacob Meyer. Very impressive stuff from the lefty.
Is that better?
He'll face another lefty in Bryant Schellenbarger. First pitch misses away, 1-0. Schellenbarger 1 for 2 today, grounded out into the uncommon 3-6 double play last time up. Swinging a foul back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. In fact, with Ferguson being retired, it's been 1 time through the order. Ferguson was the last Diamond Hopper to reach all the way back in inning number 3.
Yeah, I mean, they had 5 stranded base runners in the first 3 innings. Haven't found one since.
1-2 to Schellenbarger. Top of the 6th here at Jimmy John's Field. Brady Beaton, Tom Cavanaugh. 7-2 Mammoth lead behind 3 Westside long balls. 1-2 easy take for Schellenbarger, nowhere near the zone. Meyer comes set, the 2-2. Swing and a pop-up back over the grandstands. Count remains 2 aside. And it really feels like that 3-run 3rd inning for the Mammoths deflated the Diamond Hoppers a bit. That their bats went away when they got one back. They made it 4-2. Okay, you're chipping away, and just like that, it's a 5-run game.
Yeah, it was that big fly from Seltzer that really just put them out ahead. A 4-2 game is so much different than a 7-2 ball game where we stand at right now. And with 4 scoreless frames since the 3rd inning, things are starting to kind of mellow down a little bit. Hopper's got to find it offensively.
Swing and a miss. Caught a lot of the plate. Schellenbarger came up empty. That's 4 straight Ks for Meyer.
Schellenbarger off balance with that breaking ball swinging right over top of it. Handling these left-handed hitters right now is Jacob Meyer, just sending them down.
So in the first 14 batters, 9 times the Diamond Hoppers reached base. In the now 10 batters since, they haven't gotten a base runner.
That's baseball, man.
And haven't gotten a ball out of the infield. The 1-0. Called strike on the fastball. 1-1. The Diamond Hoppers actually still out-hitting the Mammoths.
Yeah.
They have 7 hits, but they got them all in the first 2 innings and change.
And with 5 or 7 left on base, that shows.
1-2 to Shire. As Meyer has come out of the pen and, well, just been filthy. Meyer set. The 1-2. Way away. Count evens at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 away.
I don't mind that pitch from Jacob Meyer right there going up and out, but slider low and inside at the feet of Shire could get that 3rd strikeout, would be 5 in a row. We'll see.
Went with the slider, just missed the location very badly, 3-2.
And this is where the Hoppers, if they try to work a full count into a walk, they could start something here with the bottom of the lineup coming up. They've already worked quality at-bats so far today in Hughes and Martin.
3-2. Swing and a ground ball to third. Eats up Webb, and the Diamond Hoppers can get their first base runner since the third inning.
And the last hit coming since the third inning on Gehrig. That's got to be a booted ball over there at third by Webb. It was right on him. It just it took a little bit higher bounce than I think Webb is expecting, and it caught up right near his eyes or his forehead, and his glove didn't get high enough.
Brings up Whit Hughes. Strikeout victim twice over. First time facing the lefty Meyer, and he takes strike one. Fastball, the low inside corner. Off of first, Shire. Fastball can't quite5 the corner. 1-1.
That's a difference right there. An error over to third base with 2 outs, and you've retired 5 straight. That might be able to change things here if you're the Hoppers. Uh-oh.
Throw to first. Got him. So as quickly as the Diamond Hoppers get a base runner, they lose him. Shire picked off, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. 7-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Westside nursing the 7-2 lead. Haven't had anyone pushed across since the third inning. Bottom of the 6th. And it's Webb, Beadle, and Cedeno due up. As Caleb Rush back on the bump. He did a nice job last inning. Got the pick off of Williams Nelson to end the frame. And the bullpens have actually settled this game down quite nicely.
That's been the difference so far. Both pitchers got out to a hard-hitting first couple of frames, and it's been on Jacob Meyer of the Mammoths and Caleb Rush of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to hold this game at a tight score right now. I know it's a 5-run lead for the Mammoths, but if you're Eastside, you have to keep it at just 7 runs right now. No more damage can be done if you want to try to come back and win this ball game.
Very quietly running out of outs. So we are in the final frame of the middle innings. First pitch swinging for Webb, just a hair foul. 0-1.
Sorry, Brady.
Oh, you're fine.
It's funny, too. The final out of that top of the 6th and bottom of the 5th were both pickoff moves to first base.
Right. It's that does not happen too often. And I know that last inning, Shire was not very happy with himself getting picked off. And understandably so. Hey, you're down 5 runs. You get your first runner in 3 innings. And immediately, like that, picked off. Now with 2 away, still not a high probability you score a run, but it lets them off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
The 0-2 misses up high. 1-2 on a breaking ball that just didn't break.
Those are the pitches that Rush has missed today. The breaking balls that just aren't breaking, or they're breaking a little bit too much, and he's starting the ball low near the hips.
1-2 in the dirt. 2-2. Maybe overthrew that fastball a bit. It's 93, but when it only makes it 58 feet, not going to do much good. Two. Still up high, so from 0-2 to 3-2. Nick Webb trying to work away on base any way he can. He was hit last time. Struck out in his initial at-bat. Half-hearted hack for strike 3. Fastball on the high outside corner. And Rush with his second strikeout in relief.
Yeah, back-to-back ended the 5th with Seltzer and picks right back up with Webb. And that's just a fastball that he challenges him with right there. Upper outer corner, and got to go after it there if you're Webb. Just didn't get the hands around in time. You saw the sword on the swing.
And I think those curveballs helped him out a bit as a ground ball eats up Van Diver for a minute. Throw to first. The stretch, and they didn't get him. I'm assuming that Ferguson was still on the bag. The umpire didn't motion that he was pulled off, and the error allows Beetle to reach.
Another high hop that just gets off the heel of the glove of Van Diver there. He had time to turn around and throw. It was a little bit wide. I agree with you. I think Ferguson kept his foot on there, but Beetle was screaming down the line, and it's a one-out base runner now for the Mammoths.
Jose Cedeno comes to the plate, 1 for 2 today, a single and a punch-out. Rush would, well, if he can get that same ground ball again, could get him out of the inning. First pitch fastball, 92 on the low outside corner for a strike. Beetle with about a 4 or 5 foot lead over at first. Fastball misses high and away, 1-1.
Yeah, got to stay conservative here. I know you're already up by 5. You're looking to chip away. Cedeno, if he puts one in the gap, I think Beetle scores from first. But you're right, very conservative over there as Rush has already picked someone off today.
Swing and a blooper into center field. Martin back. He brings it in for out number 2. Lineup turns over for the 3rd time today as Nick Pastor comes to the plate. A lifetime ago, he led off the bottom of the 1st with a solo shot, a walk and a ground out sense.
It's been a good day for Nick with that home run. He's pulled both of the balls that he has hit in fair play over towards the first base right field side. So if I'm Caleb Rush here, I'm keeping everything on the outside part of the plate to see if Pastor will try to reach around and roll a ground ball onto second base.
First pitch to Pastor. Fastball center cut at the knees. 0-1. Rush checks the runner at first, settles in. Fastball low. Hughes does a good job keeping it out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We've seen better catcher play over the last couple of games as well from these guys. We've seen a couple balls sneak past Hughes or Beetle today, but not a ton. These guys are playing really well, keeping everything in front and minimizing the extra bases for these base runners.
Yeah, Hughes done a nice job. The only blemish, that 1 ball early in the game that just popped out of his glove. Check swing, foul ball from Pastor. There's a reason why Hughes is back on the Diamond Hoppers again this season. He's been with Ryan Kakia along the way, played for him at St. Clair County Community College, plays for him here, and he's a student of the game. They say the catcher's got to be the quarterback for the ball team, and well, he does a good job out there. Swing and a fly ball, right field. Schellenbarger racing in, slides. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Bryant Schellenbarger picks it off the top of the grass and saves a base hit for his pitcher. We head to the 7th because of Bryant Schellenbarger. 7-2 Mammoths here on the USPBL network. Back here on the USPBL Network. New arm on the mound for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Aaron Evers makes an appearance for the Mammoths after 2 strong innings from Jacob Meyer. Evers, 6'2", native of Stonewall, Louisiana, ended up at Oakland just down the road from here to finish out his collegiate career. But Evers will take the ball with a 5-run lead here in the 7th.
Evers taking over for Jacob Meyer, who went 2 innings in relief, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts for the crafty lefty. Well done from Jacob Meyer, and turns it over now to the righty in Evers, who is rocking a 9 ERA. Just 1 appearance so far this year. He was a late addition to this Westside team and head coach Taylor Jellikowski. 2 strikeouts, no walks, and 2 hits allowed in that 1 inning.
So it's Whit Hughes, Bailey Martin, and Blake Van Diver, 8-9-1. Hughes' at-bat was cut short when Shire got picked off to end the previous frame. So Hughes, instead of getting the favorable lefty-righty matchup, will have to face a righty here in the second try at his 3rd at-bat of the game.
Yeah, Whit's got to keep something in play right now. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks.
First pitch, called strike. Evers going to come at you with well, he's thrown 4 different pitches so far this year. He's thrown a sinker, a curveball, a changeup, and a four-seam, and he mixes them up pretty healthily. He doesn't rely too much on one pitch. And that one, off speed, missed, 1-1.
I don't know how quickly it's going to be. I'll go between innings. I know with innings I started, so it's unfortunate, but...
Evers, the kick in the deal. Swinging a ground ball, 3rd base. Webb knocked it down with the chest, picked it up, throw to first, still gets Hughes by a step. So Webb avoids the error. Nice job sticking with it, and it's 1 up, 1 down.
Yeah, even a quick bobble like that, you have the arm strength at 3rd base in Nick Webb to be able to zip it across the diamond. And in 6'6", Drew Fleming is able to stretch a little bit farther than most first basemen, so the ball just gets over there to first a little bit quicker because of how long Drew Fleming is over there.
Brings up Bailey Martin, 1 for 2 today. Swing and a miss. The changeup. Evers, like a lot of pitchers in this league, works exclusively out of the stretch. Swing and a miss, same pitch, 0-2.
Yeah, some guys just feel a little more comfortable even without runners on base. They feel comfortable in that stretch. A lot of times relievers will want to simplify their motion by not switching between a stretch and a wind-up, so they'll go straight from the stretch and kind of just work all of their preparation from that and feel comfortable from the stretch here like he is.
The 0-2 misses away, and I think part of the reason why you're seeing more and more pitchers work exclusively from the stretch is the old myth that you get more velocity from the windup has gone the way of the dodo, and that's just what some guys teach. As Martin turns on one to left field, and a running catch by Jose Cedeno. Had to go a long way, took a great route, and it's out, number 2.
Jose had that all the way, baby. He's a lefty, so the ball was to his glove side, and he tracked that all the way across the field. It just hung up a little too long in that jet stream, and Cedeno able to track it down. Well done for out number 2.
Nobody on, and 2 away. Blake Van Diver comes to the plate, but back to the conversation about the stretch, where if you do get a little more velocity, it is so negligible that it doesn't make too much of a difference. We'll put a pin in it as Van Diver lines out to center field to end the frame. 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 7th. That means it's time for the 7th inning stretch and take me out to the ball game, brought to you tonight by Genesis Credit Union. 7-2 Westside here at stretch time of the USPBL Network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-2. Westside. This has been the score since the 3rd inning as some Mammoths fans looks like they got a t-shirt to take home.
Yeah, it's always a great experience out here at Jimmy John's Field. Not a ton of life left in the ballpark after we saw a couple huge flies in the first couple of innings. The game has started to die down a little bit as we approached, we just passed over the 9 o'clock hour, but so much fun here at the ballpark. Speak from experience when I was a kid and being able to come out here at 15, 16 years old, and now in a different perspective behind the booth, it's still just as fun watching independent baseball here in Utica, Michigan.
Certainly a fun time. Ladies' night tonight, and I think everyone's been enjoying their night. Florentino, Liam, and Fleming. They face Caleb Rush. He's getting a lot of leash here in relief.
Yeah, they're letting him go. Only 3 2/3 innings before this, and he's working into his 3rd full frame in this game alone.
Florentino 0 for 3 today. One of just two Mammoths to not reach base. Breaking ball too far inside. Florentino spins out of the way.
If I'm Rush, I'm keeping that breaking ball low. If he keeps that thing right around chest high, Florentino might have a big fly.
1-1 swing and what sounded like a broken bat ground ball. Shire over to first, and it's 1 up, 1 down, and Francis Florentino is going to have to get a brand new bat.
Oh yeah, that thing's in half right now. A little bit of firewood for Florentino when he heads home today. Just on the inside part of the bat, it's so tough on a fastball riding inside at the hands to get that barrel on the ball. And right there, he's down 1.
Fox Liam to the plate, has not put a ball in play yet today. Walked twice, struck out swinging. Rush settles in, first pitch, called strike. The last base hit for the Westside Woolly Mammoths was the Colby Seltzer home run back in inning number 3.
Wow.
They did all their damage early and have handed it over to the pitchers and said, there you go. We gave you 7 runs. Do what you need to do. And, well, they've excelled on the mound.
Yeah, Meyer and Evers both have been lights out.
2-1 to Liam. And 9 walks on the season in only 2 hits. So depending on what stats you look at early on, Liam's either very much struggling or excelling. Half-hearted hack goes across, 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 1 away. 7-2 Mammoths here in the bottom of inning number 7.
You can't tell if he's seeing the ball well or if he's just so disciplined and his eye is great. I mean, he's seeing the ball well because he's taking pitches and drawing walks, but he's not squaring it up like he has been in years past.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball 92 right above the belt, got it by him. And Rush has his 3rd punch out in relief.
Like to see Drew Fleming make an adjustment here. He's dropped that back shoulder and skied 3 balls on the infield. Here against Caleb Rush, if he's able to catch Rush with a hanging curveball, there's a chance he could send something in the gap. I've been very high on Drew Fleming over the course of today. He's got to make an adjustment and put something on the ground or on a line.
First pitch called strike. All 3 of his at-bats have resulted in pop-outs here in Drew Fleming's USPBL debut. And always an adjustment period. 1 ball, 1 strike. One of the adjustments that Well, I had never really thought of until talking with some of the managers last year is for a lot of these guys, especially when you get a big crowd on a Friday fireworks special or one of those premier nights, it's the biggest crowds any of these guys have played in before. Because you go, okay, college baseball, at any level you'll get maybe for a big game 100 or 200 people at most, unless you played at high level and you made a run in the postseason. But for a lot of guys, their first time here at Jimmy John's Field's the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of.
Of course, it is. And I know their heads are pointed the other way and they're not looking at the crowd, but still, you got that huge scoreboard in left center field, and that huge illuminated scoreboard can also play a little bit of a trick on your eyes when you're trying to dial in on a white baseball coming down the middle. So you're right. It's partially because of the fans, and I think also when you have such a wide, big outfield here in ballpark that they haven't played in very often, it can change things.
Chopper foul. And it's just one of those things you don't really think about a whole lot is how are you going to react, because to be honest, the last time they probably played in front of a crowd this size was likely a high school game in whatever their state's respective postseason was.
Well, for Fleming, I was at their Game 3 at Concordia in the WAC Championship back in 2023. There had to be 300-400 people at that ball game, so he's played in front of a decent crowd.
He swings through a fastball, and Rush fans the final two Mammoths as we head to the 8th. Still looking for our first run since the 3rd inning. Mammoths holding on to a 7-2 lead here on the USPBL Network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Back here on the USPBL Network. Clouds have rolled in as what little bit of natural light left is trying to peek its way through. 7-2 Westside Woolly Mammoths here in the top of the 8th. We have Dre Williams, Nelson, Colby Seltzer, and Nick Webb coming up. But during the break, made a discovery that I did not know. Now, this is the first game I've worked with Tom Cavanaugh. We're going to have plenty more the rest of the year.
This doesn't define my personality.
It does not, but with Ladies' Night, the in-between inning entertainment what had to do with The Bachelor, because we have a few contestants from The Golden Bachelor here, and it's been a theme all night. Excuse me, I was looking at the, I forgot to flip my page over. It's Ruse, Marcoux, and Garrett going. Now, all right, I was a little flustered because as the trivia is going on, the man to my right, Tom Cavanaugh, starts screaming out the answers emphatically.
Screaming is...
He was, okay, screaming might be a little much, but you were... what's the best word to describe it? You were exclaiming the answers from the booth. You were very into the Bachelor trivia, and then you were upset when you got one wrong. I did not know you were a Bachelor fan. I would not have pegged you as one.
Back when I was 15, 16, 17, I used to watch the show a little bit with my buddies. It was a good talking point when you were, hanging out with some other people,
Yeah, some other people. So you could enter the conversation. Oh, yeah. Zeb Roos goes down swinging. So when maybe there was a group of people, may or may not be females, that you wanted to at least have an icebreaker with, I'm sure that worked out very well for you.
That's how you make adjustments,
It's
man.
not a bad strategy, but it just threw me off a little bit. And he's given me details on all their backstories. He was a true Blue fan. I was just not expecting that. Nobody on, one away as Noah Marcoux comes to the plate. struck out looking last time. Pitch misses, 2-0. Aaron Evers in his second inning of relief. There is one player stretching in the Mammoth bullpen, but if Evers gets through this fairly quickly, I might not be surprised if Taylor Jelenkowski lets him try to finish.
I agree. If he continues to cruise like this, I mean, he had 2 flyouts and a ground out in a 1-2-3 inning back in the 7th, struck out the first batter here in the 8th. He is he's mowing right now.
Swinging a ground ball foul. And baseball, one of the games that has very finicky rules, or ones that you just have to keep on digging and digging and you don't even realize how deep it is. The one a lot of people don't know is that if Evers was to finish out this game, he would get credit for a save. If you pitch 3 innings, it doesn't matter how many innings you pitch is Marcoux walks, or how big the lead is rather. If you pitch the final 3 innings of the game, you get the save.
That is one of those finicky rules, because usually the save goes to the guy that comes into the 9th and finishes the game.
Yeah, you think of it has to be under 3 runs. You come in the 9th. Maybe you get a 4 or 5 out save. But the biggest example that I can think of where it pops up is when there were some blowout games in the past where like when games are 20-run games or something like that, and a save is awarded because someone came in and pitched the final 3 innings, and that is the one I'm thinking of, the 30-3 blowout that the Rangers had over the Orioles years ago. There was a save awarded in that game. In a 27-run game, someone picks up a save as Gehrig singles for the 3rd time today, so the Diamond Hoppers have something going here in the 8th. Not a moment too soon.
Pitcher.
Brings up Ben Ferguson. Now would be a nice time to find a gap. 4, 6, 3, and just like that, the Mammoths are out of the inning. Head to the bottom of the 8th. Westside will look for any insurance they can find. 7-2 Mammoths here on the USPBL Network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be. Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
(7-2) Westside Woolly Mammoths on top. New arm on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Don Goods comes into the game. The Adrian College product will try to keep this deficit right where it's at.
Final line for Caleb Rush, out of relief. He went 3 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Nice job from Rush to hold it at 7 runs. And we turn our attention over to Donnie Goods at a 5.40 ERA, making his 4th appearance in relief. 5 total innings pitched. He's got 6 walks and 3 strikeouts, so a little bit wild to start here for Goods. He's only allowed 1 hit in 5 innings. 3 runs, though, and 1 double, so Don's going to keep the contact light, but he's got to keep runners off the base paths via the free pass.
And if you're Ryan Cockey trying to take the good out of this game, I think it starts with Caleb Rush. That was an excellent relief appearance. I know maybe not the most high-pressure innings when you're already down 5 runs, but stats count all the same. And if you know you can go to Rush and get 2-3 innings, that's a big step for Rush. I don't want that to get lost in what is starting to look more and more like a Westside win.
I mean, he almost evened up his total of innings pitched coming into tonight with 3 innings, and he was now at 6 2/3, almost doubling that up. So well done from Rush. He's going to have a lot more opportunities in relief, and he's going to have other opportunities with runners on in big high-pressure situations. Let's see how Goods does right here to follow that up.
Oh, and there's our friends in the booth. They... I don't know if they were quite, if all of them were expecting that, but they are, they've been working hard all night long. Oh, and Williams Nelson, he's not happy. That could not have felt good.
I got him in the back foot. He's one of the, he had the Evo Shield blocker or the protective guard on the opposite foot there, and a little bit of frustration as he tosses the bat, but anyway on. He's going to take a quick walk down.
Tom, I'd be a little upset if an 87-mile-per-hour pitch. Look, again, it was hard to tell in real time. Looked like it caught him maybe in the shin somewhere. But, yeah, I'd be a little upset, too.
Yeah, not a ton of meat there, so you're going to catch a lot of bone in a spot like that.
Yeah, I think it avoided the shield up front. And, well, anywhere else is not going to feel great. So Goods comes in, first pitch hits someone. Williams Nelson not moving like he was off of first last time when he got picked off. For Goods, it's a 4-pitch mix. You'll see the 4-seam, the slider, the curveball, and the changeup. So a pretty standard repertoire for Goods. He's missed with the first 3 pitches. Out of the pen is Colby Seltzer at the plate. Again, the 3-run blast that kind of knocked the wind out of the sails of the Diamond Hoppers.
That's been the difference today. Not entirely, because Mammoths would still have a lead right now, but it just puts it kind of out of reach there.
It'd feel a lot different, wouldn't it? I mean, a 2-run game, you mentioned it earlier. Hey, a bloop and a blast, and you're right back in it. The Bats, they front-loaded all the hits today. 2-1. Check swing, doesn't matter. Called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good set. Checking Nelson over at first. Swing and a chopper to short. Martin to Van Diver. The relay has no chance to get Seltzer, but they get the lead runner on the fielder's choice, 1 on, 1 away.
It's a smart play right there. It was hit softly, and Williams Nelson might have had a chance, but you can see him gingerly jogging off the field right now, and that plays a role into him getting down to second base. So the shortstop, Martin, knew that he had time to dish it off to Van Diver to get the force out.
And hopefully it did just catch him in the shin or the ankle, just something that it's going to hurt for a day or 2, but nothing more than a bruise. Because Jerry Williams Nelson is, well, he's had a really nice start to this season. Nick Webb 0 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch as well. I was sandwiched in between a couple of strikeouts. Goods fastball misses up, and lefty having trouble finding the zone out of the pen.
He was lucky to get that bounce out to shortstop from Seltzer, who was down in the count, or sorry, up in the count at 2-1.
2-0 breaking ball misses below the zone. 3-0 to Webb.
And that's been the issue for Goods so far this year. 6 walks, 1 hit batter, and 3 strikeouts to go along with that. So doubling up the amount of free passes that he has compared to strikeouts.
3-0. Called strike as Webb was ready to toss the bat. And you don't want to walk Webb. The bottom third of the Mammoth lineup has not been what's hurt you. They're 1 for 8 today with a run scored. Have stolen a couple bases when they have reached. Ooh, a pretty similar pitch to the 3-0 offering. This time called a ball, and there's runners on first and second.
Yeah, on 3-0, that zone's going to expand a heck of a lot, but on 3-1, it begins to then tighten back in, and it's got to be a really good competitive pitch to be called for a strike. So 2 on with 1 gone here. Sorry, yeah, 1 gone. It's going to be maybe a chance for the Mammoths to grab a few more if they can turn it back over to the top.
Zach Beadle reached on an error last time up. And a ground ball to second. We start off the at-bat to Beadle with the pitch that misses high and away, 1-0. Runner on second is, you have Seltzer. Runner on first is Webb.
It's a good pitch right there to even up the count for Goods. He's got to stay in counts. Cannot drop down to a 3-1 or 3-0 and have to try to battle all the way back.
Lefty-righty matchup. Fastball forces Beadle to jackknife out of the way. 2-1.
Goods has got to give his team a chance here in the top of the 9th inning. A few more for the Mammoths could really put this thing out of reach and make it a heck of a 9th inning for Eastside to try to come back and tie it.
2-1 misses away. 3-1. And there's no one in the Diamond Hopper bullpen. And in the 9th inning, you really don't want to burn another arm. Again, this is their first of 3 games this weekend. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Beadle was trying to put that on the Chevy Pavilion out and left. Came up empty, 3-2.
He's done a little bit of everything today. A pop-out, strikeout, reached on the air, and a big fly to left would kind of encapsulate a full day of baseball at the plate for Beadle.
Coming set, Goods, the payoff pitch. Swing and a hot shot into left field. Base knock. Seltzer around third. They hold him up at the last moment. Marcoux did a really nice job of getting that ball in quickly. So it's a single but no RBI for Beadle as the bases are loaded.
It's the first base knock that we've seen since the Colby Seltzer home run back in the 3rd inning for the Mammoths. They had a couple of base runners via the error, 2 walks and a hit batter since that 3rd inning. Nice swing from Zach Beadle, his first knock of the afternoon.
Whit Hughes coming out to talk with his pitcher. And, well, Tom, I have a feeling they're throwing Donnie Goods into the pool and saying, hey, sink or swim. This is your inning, good, bad, and different.
He's got to induce a ground ball right here. As we mentioned, such a great middle infield for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They'll be able to work him out of a jam if he's able to get a ground ball here from Cedeno.
Seltzer on third, Webb on second, Beadle on first. 1 away, Jose Cedeno comes to the plate. 7-2 Mammoths. First pitch swing and then a foul ball back out of play. The first pitch strike, a rarity for Goods in relief. No one. Catches a lot of the plate for strike 2. Had Cedeno crossed up.
He lifted the hands thinking that was going to be inside. It bit back a little bit, swung onto the plate. Down in the hole now is Jose.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Not the ground ball, but an out all the same. So the lineup turns over, and it's up to Nick Pastor to try to unload the bases.
Yeah, almost just as good right there. He challenged him inside again. Cedeno started to pull the trigger before it had that arm side run in towards the back hip. First strikeout of the day for Donnie Goods.
For the Diamond Hoppers as a staff, that's their 10th strikeout. So they've been missing bats. Just early on when they weren't, they were finding the barrel, and the balls were finding new homes.
Yeah, they were loud swings. If you take some of those home runs and make them singles, maybe even doubles, it could be a very close ball game right now instead of 7-2.
3 home runs on the day for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It was Dre Williams, Nelson, and Nick Pastor in the first, Colby Seltzer in the third. Pastor has a chance to add another RBI or 2 to the ledger. Heading the count 2-0. Check swing. Did that hit the bat? It did. It hit off the glove of Whit Hughes, and the umpire didn't go up with the hands right away. But I think that did indeed hit the bat.
Definitely. I thought there might have been a chance of catcher's interference, but obviously no call there, so Witt didn't reach out far enough.
2-1 misses low and away, and Nick Pastor might be able to pick up an RBI without even swinging the bat.
Up by 5 right here. If I get something good, I'm unloading, especially with the swing I had back in the first inning.
Oh, you got to get greedy. Up 5 in the 8th, too. Fastball over the inside part of the plate. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Base is loaded. Runners will be off with the pitch. Seltzer as much as he can be at third. 3-2. That hit him. RBI, hit by pitch for Nick Pastor.
I'm actually partially surprised that our home plate umpire didn't call him back into the box or call that strike 3. Pastor did not flinch or move a muscle. As a hitter, you have to make some sort of an attempt to get out of the way of a pitch that's coming at you. And right there, Pastor didn't move a muscle. So that was an interesting call right there to award him first base on a hit by pitch, because you got to turn away
now,
or something.
I had this pop up in a game I was doing recently. That even if he said he didn't move, I believe since the count was 3-2, it would have just been a ball anyway. Because and again, I don't know this for fact. The baseball rule book is long and meticulous, but if he felt he turned over the plate, he can call it a strike. But if it's a ball anyway and he doesn't move, I believe it's just a ball anyway, and in that case it would have been ball 4.
That's true.
Now, had the count been 1-1, I think you might have had a point. But no, he did not move at all. That's why I wasn't sure if it hit him right away. Florentino, hard hit ball down the left field line. That scores 1. Coming around third in to score is Beadle. They're sending the third guy all the way from first. Nick Pastor comes in, and it's a 3 RBI double. And while Francis Florentino has put any nail in the coffin of a Diamond Hopper comeback hope.
Florentino, the player of the week in the USPBL. He was due an 0-for-4 day coming into that at-bat. A screamer down the third base line to cash in and clear the bases. Well done from Francis, just ripping the first pitch that he saw out of the left hand of Donnie Goods.
And how much different do you feel if you're Francis Florentino going into the clubhouse after that one? Instead of being 0-for-4, now 1-for-5, not a great day, but when it's a double and 3 RBIs, not a bad day at the office.
No, same amount of RBIs as Colby Seltzer, who had a 3-run jack.
Fox Liam at the plate. That hit him.
Give him another free pass.
He gets on base. Someone point to Jonah Hill. It's Drew Fleming to the plate. He's looking for his first career hit.
9th batter of the inning also, Brady.
Had some bats flying around above the protective netting. Sun's away. They're safe to come out now. Fleming, pop up, strikeout. Now's as good a time as any to get that first hit. One ball, 1 strike. And again, no one warming up in the Diamond Hopper bullpen. This is Donnie Goods inning for better or for worse.
Yep.
Swing and a pop-up. 1-2.
That's what I've been doing.
Florentino on second. Liam on first. Been a long bottom of the 8th. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 11-2 Mammoths. Bats came out of hibernation after 4 scoreless frames to the tune of 4 runs. RBIs from Nick Pastor and Francis Florentino in this frame.
Yeah, hit by pitch and a walk is what kind of set everything up after the base hit to Beadle. Another hit batter to Pastor, and then Florentino clears him. So it's those free passes that have really tumbleweeded this inning into something big.
Swing, and the first base hit for Fleming goes the other way. Florentino scores from second. Liam moves up to third. The first base hit, first RBI for Drew Fleming.
We were waiting on it for Drew. and that just shows his ability to hit to all fields. That's an inside pitch that he's able to muscle out the opposite way. Such a good job of keeping the hands inside and taking what Goods gives you on the mound, and drops one in the right center gap.
Always will remember your first, as the Davison native, not too far up the road, about an hour drive from here in the Flint area, gets his first pro hit, and I think there was a lot of friends and family celebrating that accomplishment, as they should. It has to feel good just to get the first one out of the way, because if it lingers too long, then you start thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, but a guy like Fleming, I mean, it's going to come for him so easily off his hands, because the couple of last years that he's had collegiately, it's only a matter of time before he's able to smack balls all around this park here.
First pitch to Dre Williams-Nelson. Wonder if wherever he got hits healed since last time. He led the inning off with a hit by pitch. 12-2 Mammoths. An offensive explosion. Pitch just misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mammoths have batted around in the 8th. Not that they needed insurance, but they've doubled their lead here in the 8th. Whoever comes out to throw for them in the 9th is going to have a pretty stress-free job.
And their reliever's been sitting over there for a minute. He actually returned back to the dugout. He was ready to go with 2 outs, and they just sent him back to the dugout because this inning continues to roll over.
2-1 to Dre Williams-Nelson. Has reached base 4 times. Gets by Hughes on the wild pitch. Liam stays at third. Fleming moves up to second. And a couple of RBIs out there for Dre Williams-Nelson.
You got to have a strike here if you're Donnie Goods on the mound. Game's out of hand right now with a 10-run deficit. Got to get your defense off the field.
Goods. Comes set. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Brings the count full, 3-2.
Doesn't get any easier with Colby Seltzer waiting on deck.
And this inning has to feel like a marathon for Donnie Goods. Not the outing he was hoping for out of the pen. A couple of hit batters, actually a few hit batters. Swing and a tapper foul. The double from Florentino, which oddly enough is the only double we've had today. We've had so much offense. We've had 18 hits, 14 runs scored, 4 home runs, but it took until the 8th to get the first double.
Everything that could have been a double actually was sent out of here.
Right. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Hughes keeps it in front, has to send it down to first, and they complete the out. But Williams-Nelson starts and ends the inning. 5 Mammoths come around to score. We head to the 9th. Diamond Hoppers, they need a lot. 12-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network.
Are you guys putting in a new pitcher? All right, we got a new pitcher.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are operating engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Westside Woolly Mammoths in control of this one. And while Michael Esposito has pitched in some high leverage spots, this will not be one of them.
No way. He's up nursing a 10-run lead right now. He's just got to get in there and throw strikes. Esposito, he's making his 4th appearance, the first in relief. He started 3 ball games before this. Just 9 innings pitched for Michael over the first 3 outings, a 3.00 ERA. Michael gets a lot of swing and miss. 13 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 7 hits allowed in those 9 innings. We're looking for Esposito to get it going and finish out what's been a heck of a day for these Westside Woolly Mammoths on both sides of the field.
When you look at the Westside Woolly Mammoths, they have the game today. Then they'll have the doubleheader on Saturday against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Finish this one out. They're going to play a struggling Beavers team. Actually, the next 3 games after this one will be against the Beavers, and take 2 or 3 against the Beavers, who have only won a game so far this season. You can propel yourself up the standings pretty quickly.
Final line for Aaron Evers. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. So a good outing for him to follow up Jacob Meyer and Nate Blaine.
And really solid pitching up and down the Mammoths pitching staff. And the 4th pitcher they've used, Blaine probably had the worst statistical outing. He gave up the home run, gave up a lot of hits, but we talked about it. They were all singles, and, well, if you can give up singles, you can live with that. It takes a lot of those to really hurt you. It's the long ball, a la the Mammoths in the first 3 innings, that'll get you beat.
And even with that, he still stranded 7 runners in the first 3 innings for the Hoppers. So even though he gave up that big fly to start off the 3rd inning, you'd much rather have that be a solo shot from Marcoux than with a couple runners on. So he was able to work out of jams for the first 3 innings, even after giving up a few runs. So you got to tip your cap to Blaine to be able to only keep that at 2 runs for Eastside. And that's why the lead is so big right now for Westside.
Ground ball into right field, base hit for Schellenbarger, his 2nd of the day. So he leads the inning off with yet another single as Jake Shire comes to the plate, but it's part of the, I guess, the new age approach of swing for extra base hits, elevate the ball, because singles, yes, they're nice, but it's the extra base hits where you really make your money, and if you really want to get into the weeds of run expectancy and things like that, that's where the extra base is just so much bigger than a single.
You talk about the different stats that you look at when you're evaluating a player. That slugging percentage is one thing you have to look at too, OPS as well, because it just depends on how these guys are able to put the ball in the gap and have extra base hits and cash in those runs.
Balk called on Esposito. Don't believe he came set. So that'll put Schellenbarger into scoring position for Shire. All right, now Brian Schellenbarger, the tying run, but that would be the next time he came up. Pitch misses up high, gets to the backstop. Schellenbarger stays put.
He can take that extra base right there, but as you mentioned, Schellenbarger needs to get all the way back around, back to second base.
His job right now is to not run into an out. Just pass the baton to the next guy. I mean, a 10-run deficit. Swinging a flare, foul. And you look at the line score, it's a bit perplexing. Again, it goes back to the talk between singles and home runs. For the Diamond Hoppers, 2 runs on 10 hits, 1 error. The Mammoths, 12 runs on 9 hits and no errors. It's extra base hits and it's walks or hit batters.
Right.
If the batter's facing you, you can take batter. If he's facing me, I'll take him. And the other one can get the
Shire takes the 1-2 inside, 2-2.
And not to mention that 7 of those hits came off of Nate Blaine in the first 3 innings. It's only been 3 hits since for the Hoppers, and with 7 runners stranded in those first 3 innings, you might as well chalk up those 7 hits as all stranded.
Well, even in the last inning for the Mammoths, they only produced 3 hits and 10 at-bats. They weren't crushing the ball. I mean, Florentino had the bases clearing double, but the walks and the hit batters, that's where you load it up. So then even a single scores a couple runs, and that's what really will get you. The 3-2 inside, first 2 runners aboard. Brings up Whit Hughes as Beetle will go out to have a word with his pitcher.
Uncommon walk there for Esposito. As we mentioned, 13 strikeouts now to 6 walks. But this conversation, it's obviously a casual one, knowing that it's a 10-run lead. These guys, being Esposito and Beetle, are just going to work through the strike zone right now. Pitch to contact, see if Hughes can roll something over. You don't need to do too much and get a clutch strikeout or a double play right here to end the inning quicker.
You're exactly right. Pitch to contact. Even if you put a meatball right down the middle and Hughes puts it 400 feet behind you, you still have a 7-run lead.
Right.
Like that tying run is still well in the Diamond Hopper dugout. Put it in the zone, and that's where the first pitch was at 92. Split the plate. Right again. Tom, you were right on it. 2 pitches and 2 pitches that were right in the middle of the strike zone.
Up by 10, make them hit it. Because these guys, as we mentioned, 7 hits in the first 3 innings, 3 since. So you just put the ball in there and make these guys put it in the gap and beat you. Also, this is a potentially big win right here for the Mammoths, trying to move back to 500 after dropping 2 last weekend.
Hughes, another 93-mile-per-hour fastball. That one he fouls off. Count 0-2. 2 on, nobody out. We're in the top of the 9th. Diamond Hoppers chasing 10. The 0-2 swing and a miss. Pulled the string on Hughes, and there's out number 1.
And that's what Esposito does best. A couple of fastballs in the mid-90s and then breaks off a curveball low and inside at about 83 miles an hour. Such a change of speed for him, and it makes it so tough to stay on balance if you're Whit Hughes.
That's 9 strikeouts as a staff for the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
A lot of strikeouts on both sides today.
Swinging a foul straight back for Bailey Martin. Taking a look at what's coming up ahead here in the USPBL. We'll run it back tomorrow night with the Diamond Hoppers, except tomorrow they will have a different opponent. They will be taking on the Utica Unicorns, swinging a ground ball foul.
Yeah, he broke his bat.
Yeah, he's going to have to, well, hopefully someone will come give him a new bat because that's going to be a long walk. Saturday, we'll have 2 between the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and these Westside Woolly Mammoths. And then Sunday, a rematch of Friday's matchup with the Hoppers and the Unicorns to round out the weekend. We'll get ready at about 6:45 tomorrow here on the USPBL Network. Myself and Tom Cavanaugh again for you. Should be a fun one between the Diamond Hoppers and the Unicorns. And Tom will be busy. He'll be with you all weekend long.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be in and out. But Tom here, he's here 4 straight days, so he'll get to see a lot of baseball. And hopefully it's as fun as the first 3 innings were in this one.
Yeah, we'll see if the wind keeps up for the next couple days. You never know. Yeah, can't complain about more baseball.
0-2 to Martin. Esposito, he's been challenging hitters. The 0-2 in the dirt. Did that catch him? No, it did not. 1-2.
Got to finish strong here if you're Esposito right now. Don't turn this into something that it wouldn't be if you didn't throw strikes. Michael did a really nice job against Whit. He was pitching to contact there with Whit striking out. Do the same thing here with Bailey Martin, who had a nice swing for a base hit back in the second.
Just a hair too low. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schellenbarger on second. He singled. Shire walked. He's over at first. Bailey Martin's 4th plate appearance of the day. He's 1 for 3 in the contest. 0-2 to 3-2. Esposito is in danger of walking his second of the inning. Three balls, 2 strikes, the offering. Ball 4 and the bases, they're loaded. Lineup turns over. Blake Van Diver will come to the plate looking for his second hit of the ball game.
Blake's put 2 in the air, 1 on the ground with a base hit mixed in there as well. Let's see if these Mammoths in a lefty-lefty matchup can't end this in 1 ground ball.
Base is juiced. First pitch to Van Diver. Skips away from the catcher Beetle. He'll pick it up, no problem. One and 0. Esposito trying to get these final 2 outs. 12-2 Mammoths. They've led since the bottom of the first inning. Swing, fly ball. Down the line, if it's fair, it's gone. Foul. Van Diver nearly with the grand slam. And that's about as close to a fair foul situation as you'll get.
And from my angle, it looked like it wrapped around.
I thought it did too, Tom. I really thought it did. There wasn't too much argument from Van Diver, however.
No, he must have known too. We have a weird angle here as well. We had one down the left field line last weekend that did the same thing to my eyes.
2-1. We are just slightly askew to that foul pole. And it was a towering fly ball.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that foul pole would have had to have been twice as tall for it to really be able to tell. But I wanted the grand slam. We've had every other home run this game but a grand slam, and I thought Van Diver was going to get his first of the year and give us the grand slam here in the final inning. It's not to be. Strike 3 called. Paints the low outside corner. Van Diver has some words as he heads back to the dugout, and there's 2 away. Brings up Zeb Roos, 0 for 4 today. Chopper charging. Seltzer to first. Mammoths win. 12-2. Well, a big early barrage from the Westside Woolly Mammoths lead them to victory. A solid pitching performance as a staff. Did a really nice job, and the Mammoths snap a very short 2-game losing streak and take it to a strong Eastside Diamond Hopper squad.
Huge win for Westside, and they got things started immediately with Nick Pastor going deep, and then later in the first inning with Dre Williams-Nelson a 2-run jack. Colby Seltzer pitched in with a 3-run homer. Francis Florentino in the end of the ball game in the 8th cleared the bases with a 3-run double. It was an all-around win for these Mammoths. And then you look at picking up Nate Blaine, who gave up 2 runs on 7 hits in the first few innings. Meyer, Evers, and Esposito came in and shut the door for Westside in a convincing victory. A very nice job done from Taylor Jellikowski and Justin Karn's squad. I'm really excited to see them the rest of this weekend. And on the Hoppers on the other side, they had the early runs, the early hits, but we talk about that relief appearance from all 3 of those guys for Westside. They shut them down.
And you mentioned it, the Colby Seltzer home run. I think that's when the air was taken out of the sails of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They had scored a run earlier, or the previous half inning, and it brought it to 4-2. And you go, okay, that's the settle down run. We're going to chip away at this, and we'll work back. And then Colby Seltzer puts one over the left field fence. And if you remember, right before that, Dre Williams-Nelson had a single on a pitch. He kind of rolled over a little bit. It was a pitcher's pitch that he was able to put in between short and third, and if that's 5 feet to the right, they get out of the inning no problem. And there's some celebration.
Yeah, they're giving Dre Williams-Nelson that Gatorade bath right now after his 2-run homer. He had a really nice day, reached base 4 different times. He's your story.
I mean, there are a lot of guys you could go for player of the game. Again, I don't want Caleb Rush's effort for the Diamond Hoppers to be lost. He went 3 strong, scoreless innings. But, yeah, Dre Williams-Nelson had a home run, a single, walked, was hit by a pitch. All he needed was, a catcher's interference, a drop third strike, find every way to reach base. He was really solid for them. Colby Seltzer was strong for them as well. We mentioned the 3-run bomb, scored another run in that 8th inning, but just a plethora of strong performances for the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
Super excited to see what they do the rest of this weekend, I should say. This Mammoth team, I got a feeling they're going to get hot down the stretch in the USPBL and make a run for it.
Well, that'll do it for us here from Jimmy John's Field. For Tom Cavanaugh, I've been Brady Bean. The Westside Woolly Mammoths get the weekend started with a 12-2 win. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:45 for pregame as the Eastside Diamond Hoppers take on the Utica Unicorns. We'll see you tomorrow night, everyone.